Whole thing just not recorded.
The whole thing is not recorded 3 hours.
Right. So last night. So I don't know if you got hit by the storm, but we got hit hard.
We didn't really get hit, but we were looking outside for a good like 10 minutes. Like, god damn,
it was.
Honestly,
I was low key. I was in the bath, like, because my knee was fucked. I was like trying to get my knee good with some Epsom salts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like her wife knocks on, she's like, "Hey, you should look outside." I'm like, "What?" I could hear it. I'm like, "What's going on?" I look, and like the sky was black, and like it was bad.
Doomsday.
It was bad. And I was
It
like,
was crazy.
She's like, "I don't really know if tornadoes gonna hit, but like I'm gonna get stuff ready just in case." I'm like, "Oh shit!" So like jump up, get ready, all that stuff. And then, like, I'm hearing like the hail like hit the side of the house.
Yeah, what's up with all the hail, man?
Bro,
what's going on?
July, bro. I don't get it.
I don't understand.
So there's hail. I look at the backyard because we have like a little tiny window in our bathroom.
Yeah,
so I look outside. I'm like, holy shit! All I see is just hail everywhere, piled up. I'm like, what the fuck? So then we have a pool up back. We have like the seats and stuff. So I'm like, shit, I gotta run downstairs. So as I'm running downstairs again, my knee is like good because I've been doing physio for the last like months because I hurt my knee on Canada Day. I get to the second to last step. I'm like, okay, I'm good. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm done the step. So you know when you think you're done, okay, so you're like, you know, like all your weight just goes. So like I went to step and just missed and like and I had a glass in my hand. My son was asleep. I'm like, I don't want this to shatter. So I'm like, I fall like holding it, trying to brace myself like this. I put it down and my knee like gets caught on the step and like kind of it was bad. And I was on the ground, like, you know, like the Peter Griffin thing was on the ground. I was on,
that was you?
Yeah, I was on the bottom of the steps. Just,
my God.
I was there for like 3 or 4 minutes. And no one knew. My wife was upstairs, like getting ready. And
you need a life alert, man. Bro. You need like one of those necklaces.
It was so. Like,
it's getting to that point for you, I think.
I'm old. My father-in-law was outside. He was like, he had no idea. And I finally get up. I call, get the stuff, and like he's like, "What happened?" I'm like, I don't want to talk
worry about it.
I'm just hurt. So yeah, it's better today. I'm on some strong pain meds.
I thought you were gonna roll in here on a wheelchair.
Bro, I was tempted. I had my crutches when I was like, I'm not trying to walk around. Even just, I was like, I'm not.
Yeah, we're up on the second. It would. I mean, the parking.
No,
it would have been a whole thing. You would have got here 3 hours.
Exactly.
Later.
I was like, nah, I'm good. But yeah, I'm just pissed, bro. I'm so because like I was doing.
What is your injury? What's your injury?
So technically, they at first they thought it was like torn meniscus, all this stuff. Meniscus is fine. Well, no. It's not fine. It's not torn. I've already had it. It was already like partially torn, so it's like pretty much the same.
Okay.
My patella is what's the big part, like the patella right in the kneecap. That part's they don't think it's torn, but it's like severely damaged. And then my ACL took some damage to it too. So like pretty much like my range of motion is like that.
My God.
And then like I can't do lateral movements at all. Like they're done.
If you were a horse, you would have just been taken
out. Oh yeah,
out.
Shot back.
We're done with him.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been doing physio. It's been really well. It's been going good. I've been able to walk.
Are you doing your exercises? Because I feel like, dude,
not all
a lot of yeah. See, and hey, I'm that way too. I went to physio once, and honestly, I need to actually go again because I do have some like things going on. But I went and he gave me some exercises, and to me, I'm like, part of me was like, are these really gonna help? I don't know. I was doing them for a little bit, and then I stopped, but I still like. Am struggling with what I went in for, so maybe I'm the idiot.
Yeah,
I don't know. I want to go back.
Honestly,
do a second opinion.
It's crazy too because like my background's in personal training and stuff.
True, that's right.
So it's like I know this stuff works.
That's right.
And I have a gym in my basement. When I'm in my basement on my PC pretty much, not every day, but like every other day, pretty much.
Right.
So I'm like, I walk by my gym. I can do the exercise. I have a notification on my phone that says, "Hey, go do physio at like 9:30." And I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Now I'm just gonna go sprinting down the stairs.
Yeah, right. And I know it works. I was doing them a bit, but like some of the ones he's doing, I was like, I don't think these are gonna work. Right. So I've been doing like my own kind of exercises, which have been helping a lot. And now I feel like I'm like, I'm back to the first one.
Dude, imagine how many people that have access to AI now that go in, and this happens all the time. They go and get an opinion from a doctor or something, and they're like, I don't think you know what you're talking about. Because they got the free version of whatever. It's giving them all these hallucinations, and then they're like, no, I have a medical degree, actually. So I can only imagine how many...
It's made even like my job, like my secondary job with personal training, a lot more difficult. Social media was already like a challenge because everyone's just professional on social media.
True, and you could like just follow people, I guess, and like, okay, I'm just gonna follow this routine.
That's it.
Why do I need unless? Yeah,
Which is true. Like you can to a certain point. It's like I will never say, oh, don't do this. Like follow who you follow, whatever helps. But the personal trainer is the personal part. People remember that's part of it. Well,
that's it. That's what I was going to say. Motivation.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody holding you accountable. A lot of people
that's
need that.
That's the biggest thing. It's like, so when we've been in school, I think the study was like, I think it's 75 to 80% of people who start exercising fail because there's no one there to support them. Right? There's no one to say, hey, let's keep going. Let's go. Like, what are you doing? Like, no one to hold them accountable at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, with our job, like my job is like if I'm there, hey, what you doing today, blah, blah, and I have clients. I had a client who, technically still a client. They went through the AI phase. They're like, oh, well, your exercises were good, but like AI says to do this. I was like, hey, maybe don't do that. I was like, you have a neck injury. If your AI is telling you to do shoulder presses and stuff and things above your head, maybe don't do that. She's like, oh, no, it should be fine. I'm like, no, I'm telling you it will not be fine.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, AI only knows what it's told. I went to school and studied this. I'm like, I know the exercises you should not be doing. And it still gives
hallucinate. Even last night, dude. Last night, I was going to make some cookies, right? And I'm looking at this stick of butter, and it has a marking on it that says like a quarter cup. Yeah. But I was like, is the whole stick a quarter cup? Because I'm like, wait, maybe the marking starts here and it says like the whole. So I'll ask Chad, I'm like, is this whole thing a quarter cup? It's like, yes, it is. And I'm like, okay, perfect. I take out 4 sticks of butter, dude. And then my girlfriend is like, what? No. She's like, babe, this is where you cut it. And then and I'm like, I don't think so. No. She uses Chat GPT and it's like, yeah, you're totally right. And I'm like,
bro, yeah.
So now you have the same automation machine telling you 2 different things. You have idiots like me who don't bake, who are about to use 4 sticks of butter in his cookies.
That would have been great.
I would have had a heart attack.
Yeah, you would have not.
I would have been out. Yeah, dude. So you do have to be careful.
AI is dangerous. It's funny too because like they to kind of protect themselves as AI can be wrong, blah blah. Which I get. Yeah, cool. But like I've caught it. Like I'll ask it a question.
Yeah.
And then it'll give me an answer, and then like we'll keep talking, whatever. Now I won't ask the same question, but I'll like be on the same topic.
Yeah.
And it will give me a different answer than it gave me earlier. So I'm like, wait, you said
wait,
this earlier.
wait, bitch.
And it's
you
like,
just said,
right?
yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're right, good, you caught me. Well, I'm like,
bro, I shouldn't be having to catch you, man.
Exactly.
What the hell? Aren't you a smart machine? Exactly. Where's the intelligence here?
But I guess, I paid I didn't pay. I got a free month of like the pro version. And it is a little bit.
I pay every month.
I feel like
they got me. They got me. Dude. Yeah. I use it all the time. But I use it responsibly, except when I'm making cookies. Yeah. I use it usually for like basic shit where I don't need to be like fact checking stuff. Same. Like if I'm doing like measurements, like adjusting a recipe or like, hey, I have this stuff in my fridge, like help me out. A lot of it is that. Some of it is like asking just questions, like if I'm playing League of Legends or something, I'm like, what's a good ADC that pairs with this support, something like that. And I use it as a guidance, but I always, if it's something that I need like more information or more exact information, I have to do secondary research, 100%. Right? So it's like, it's a little bit of a guide. Like I just recently started like a resale business for clothing, like vintage inspired vintage clothing.
I can see the shirt.
Yeah. Slayer shirt. So when I go out and I source material, I have a prompt that I've like engineered, and it gives me like an estimate of whether or not something is worth my time. But I don't just like use that because it could be completely inaccurate. So then I go back and I actually use like different research tools, like the one that eBay has, to see actually how many sold comps there are.
That's a good idea.
Things like that like, okay, I'm not just trusting this intelligence that's trying to give me a heart attack with butter. I'm also like, you doing the proper research. And that's what people should do.
That's the thing I always. I have this conversation a lot with like even my like father-in-law because he's older. Older people fall for AI things way too much.
100%.
Right? He'll like show videos and stuff. I'm like, that's fake. He's like, well, no, it's real. I'm like, no, it's fake.
It's getting hard though.
It is getting really hard to tell. It's
freaking super hard.
I forget what I was watching something. I was like, oh yeah, this is real. And then my wife was like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's real. And then I looked at it. I'm like, maybe it's not real.
Even
like,
music, man. Right? Even music where I'm like, this song bops. Man. And it's like, that's AI. I'm like,
man. Because there was one, I think it was last year. It was like a AI, but they did a Drake and like Weeknd song and someone else. I was like, I thought it was real.
Thought it was a real collab.
And then all of a sudden I was like, wait, no. They're like, no, this artist doesn't exist. I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, it's fake. But I'm like, we're doing this now?
They're doing crazy stuff, man.
it is dangerous.
It's bananas.
I am the same way. I do use it for like things. I'm like, if I need a guide for something, I'm like, just hey, like, can you help me figure out this? Blah, blah, blah.
Generating ideas.
Yeah,
absolutely.
even like
it's beautiful for that.
I have a tendency when I'm sending emails, like obviously there's professional decorum and stuff, but obviously if you're having we'll say you're getting pissed off in the conversation.
Yes,
I'm like, hey, I'm about to cuss this person out,
That's
but can you make sure I say it professionally?
Exactly.
Right? Obviously, I tweak it so it's not
huge.
1-to-1, but like, there's so many times like I'm about to cuss this person out, but 100%. I can't do it. So let me just tweak it a little bit so they get my point across without me saying, hey, fuck you, right?
A lot of people are really bad at that because they just put in what they want to say and they let chat
create the whole thing,
and then they like constantly use that. I have people who like update their Facebook status. I'm like, bro, that's not you.
No,
like,
yeah,
that is not you. I know nobody here believes that that's you.
No.
Like anytime that I use it, I always say like, don't change my words.
Yep.
Just like either help with flow or clarity or grammar.
Exactly. Yep.
Things like that, because like sometimes I'm reading it, I'm like, okay, it just flows weird here in this spot, but I'm not really sure like how to change it. And it'll change it a little bit to where it's like still my voice,
but it
makes more sense now to the reader.
Yep.
And I think that people are not doing that.
No.
And yeah, it's bad.
I had a boss that was doing that. She was just inputting for her response, or just full ChatGPT or even AI. And because like there's AI checkers now, so you can just copy paste it, right? And like it was 100%. And like I knew it was fake too, because like sometimes first of all, whenever someone uses a semicolon correctly, I'm like, that's AI. Bro,
that's right. Like, nobody knows how to use that
there's
shit.
No
dude.
chance.
Stop pretending.
Right? I'm like, that's AI.
Backspace that. Put dot. Exactly. That's what you use,
right? Because I'm like, we're not doing semicolons correctly.
No, man.
And the other thing was like, she was using words like unbeknownst and stuff. I'm like, yes, I know it's a word, but like, you've never said that word in your life. So like, can we be like, let's be honest. Like, we know this is not you, right? But no, it's like, oh, ChatGPT, here's your answer. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, no, the AI stuff. I'm a fan of AI, using it as a tool.
Yes.
But like you said, there is a line for me. It's like, hey, don't go to it for maybe medical advice. Don't let it be your therapist. Because like, so there was something I read. Lady was, someone was using it to like vent about their partner.
Okay.
Right? And obviously when you speak to AI, it tells you what you want to hear every time, right?
Yeah.
So like they're venting saying, oh, blah, blah, blah. So it built this whole thing in this person's head, like, hey, my partner's doing this, partner's doing that. Partner doesn't like you, doesn't respect you, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, there's two sides to a story.
Yeah.
But like you're only getting the one side, so you're gonna hear it's gonna tell you what you want to hear, not that you're wrong. It's like, hey, blah blah this, which is like that is dangerous because you just build this thing.
You live in
I'm
this
not
bubble,
wrong.
confirmation bias, things like that. Yeah, I think that it can be helpful as like a soundboard for your thoughts, especially if you're somebody who is impulsive in a way where you want to do this, you want to say this. Because I've had situations where. Yeah, it's a text message or it's a situation maybe at work or in your personal life where you want to approach it in one way. Yep. But then it's telling you like, hey, take a deep breath. You don't need to respond right now. You could take a moment. It's good for like job prep as well.
100%.
Because you're able to like, hey, you already know this. You have these skills.
Yep.
One thing, though, that I think is challenging, I'm not sure how employers are dealing with it. Like, I have spoke to, like, our mutual boss, well, my former boss. Yeah. She told me once, she's like, this guy had an incredible resume, incredible cover letter he got, and he knew nothing. Yeah. He knew nothing. It was so evident he used ChatGPT to get him that interview, and then he just bombed it. He was like, no, I don't really have experience here. I don't have experience there. And it's like, I can't imagine how many people are doing that now, because it's like, it makes if you don't really know how to approach it, and then you have this like machine that's like, no, do this, and it like looks great, but then you get in there and there's like a discrepancy between who you are and what you've handed in. That's gonna be that
whole fake it till you make it thing, except for when you have to actually prove it. It's like,
yeah. And that's what AI, I think, is doing a lot of the time, is removing critical thinking, because
100%.
People don't really have to. Like, I find myself like being lazy as well, where I'm like, I can just like generate some of this or whatever it may be to take that mental load off. Like when I was an instructor, and actually this was great because it was almost like a teaching assistant in a way, where I would like help I would let it help me create like quizzes and stuff like that.
That's cool.
Which would take me forever to come up with like multiple choice, like 4 wrong but somewhat right answers and like a question. So it would like speed up my productivity a lot.
That's actually really good. See, that's good.
But like also it made me lazy in terms of like making lectures and because I'm like not really thinking or like the questions I'm using that as like my mental load to take off. Yeah. So
that's fair. No.
And then I think that a society that's constantly using that and not thinking critically is like that's a dangerous place to be in.
I think critical thinking in general, like that being removed from the world, it seems like now is definitely. It is scary because like as much as because I caught myself doing that when I'm like I'll use it for this and like I even like trying to fix something I was like I could just Google it. I'm like you know what I caught myself I'm like I'm gonna sit here and figure it out. If I really get pissed off I'm like I can't I'm like then I'll look into it. Like we have to kind of get back to like just trying to figure things out on
use
your
our
own.
brains even like simple math, dude. I'll be adding something up and I'm like dude where's the calculator?
For real.
I'm like dude it's 6 plus 8 like dude let's get it together man. You know 6 plus 8
exactly
okay you don't have to whip out your calculator.
No and like, that's the problem is like the reliability on stuff like that which is
crazy.
It is bad because like even like just the world in general like it applies everywhere. We just don't think about honestly here driving people don't clearly think when they're driving here and I'm just
God, no.
We have
everyone's on autopilot,
bro. Man. I've spoken about I joke. I'm like I don't support aggressive drivers. I'm like I get it now because I'm like if you don't drive aggressive here, you might die. Because
you gotta be vigilant. You gotta be
right. And I mean aggressive as in like maybe I meant assertive. It's not really aggressive. Like aggressive drivers are kind of crazy, but if you're not assertive. You might die here because people here just make decisions like without thinking of anybody else on the road.
I find that paid drivers are the worst too.
Oh man,
you have somebody because, and I get it, they're driving all day, sometimes every day.
Tired. Yep.
So their patience is very thin because they're encountering everybody else as well, right?
The
and then like they're not using all the rules of the road. They're not turn signaling here. They're swiping over here. They're parking. Dude, I went to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival the other day. So we're on this busy street. There's nowhere to park. There's thousands of people. I'm taking a right onto like a main street because the parking lot entrance is just ahead.
Yeah.
An Uber driver parks, just puts on his emergency lights and parks right there and wouldn't leave. Everyone is blowing the horn at him. And he's just like trying to tell people to go around, but he can't because there's so much traffic.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding you. Like I had to like, kind of be like a little aggressive to try to get out around him or else I'd be stuck there forever. No care in the world. He's like, I'm just going to park right here.
Man,
I'm like, bro, come on.
I don't get it because I was driving on, I think it's, I forget the road I was on, but there's pretty much 4 lanes and the 4th lane on the right eventually goes down because it's a turning lane, right?
Yeah.
So like we're getting through an intersection and like that right lane's people coming in. So this lady comes into that lane as I'm like, there's a semi truck in my lane, which is like the second from the right, and then I'm like, I want to get around it, so I'm like, I'm gonna go over to this lane, speed up and go in front of it. So pull up, we're at the red light, we go. Lady turns into that lane, so I'm like, okay, whatever. When she goes, I'll go. This is a semi truck on my left. This lady's in this lane. She brakes and signals to get over. I'm like, what are you expecting to happen?
World. You're just
right. I was like, ma'am, what are we doing? And she just stopped. I'm like, that's a truck. And she's like, come on. And she starts slowly going. I'm like, that's he's going to kill you. And I'm just like, what? So then when she gets over, I speed in front of him. I'm like, but like, why? Like, we don't think about things. I'm like, we just make decisions. Like, oh, it's honestly everyone to me. I'm seeing is like that Family Guy meme. I go left now. Good luck everybody else. That is like everyone on the road now. I feel it's like tough, it just they don't think of anyone else besides themselves, and that is.
I'm so glad I don't have road rage. Like people cut me off all the time. I literally don't react because I'm like, what's the point? This shit happens all the time, and really, like, I'm only getting myself upset.
That's fair.
Or the person in the car. Like if I'm yelling, they're not hearing me.
No.
It's not changed. They're not going to start. They're not going to be like, oh, I'm so sorry. And they're going to pull over and let me pass them. That's not going to happen.
Not at all.
What's going to happen is I'm just going to be pissed.
You're gonna be mad.
I'm going to let it affect my day. I'm going to let it affect the person next to me. It's just no good. Now, like if someone almost takes me off the road or something, I'm like, dude, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But I've seen people like chase other people down.
Man,
like,
bad.
dude, I used to have a girlfriend. She had crazy road rage, And she was always driving. I didn't have my license at the time. And she would like hard brake check people. There'd be people chasing us. And I'm like, you realize they're going to get out of the car. They're not fighting you.
Yeah, I
You're
have
a
to
chick.
fight. Exactly.
I'm the guy who has to get out and be like, my girlfriend's insane.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Yeah, she was nuts. My brother's the same way where he's like just flipping people off, like losing his mind. I'm like, dude, just relax.
Bro.
It's okay. They won't get out of the way, or they're not going to like relax.
Right.
Pull. I don't know.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, me, I do like. I don't get road rage, but I'm vocal. I've always been like a louder person. I guess just my personality and stuff. Also my family. They're all screamers. But yeah, so I'll like be upset. But I'll be like just like what the fuck, and then like that's it. I'm not gonna like it won't stay in my head. I'm not gonna sit there and make it mad. Right? I'm not gonna be mad the whole. I'm like, why would I be pissed the whole time? There's no. I'm like, yeah, okay, it happened.
Yeah,
whatever, right? It's
exactly.
Like shit happens. I'm like, as long as I'm not dead, they're not dead. Well, as long as I'm not dead, I'm fine. Right?
That's right. If they're dead, fuck them.
Right?
Don't care about them.
But like there was one that I saw this lady overreacted. We were like getting off on the exit. It wasn't even. I think it was an older lady with her husband in the car. But we're getting off an exit. Like so, there's like one lane. We turn left. We're all going. There's a merging lane coming into the same lane. But at the end of the merging lane, there's like a truck pulled over with like lights on. Mm-hmm. For some reason, it's like I think it was a tow truck with them, right? So for some reason, we're all in this lane. Merging lane's here. This merging lane's empty. Right. So everyone's slowing down to make sure we get by it. This lady decides to overreact because I think she didn't see it. She wasn't paying attention. She like freaks out and like jerks to the right into that, and then everyone's like, "What?" So everyone brakes, like, "What the hell is going on?" And she like brakes, and then she's like struggles to the car and pulls back in. I'm like, "What the hell just happened?" Was
she old?
Yeah, she was like maybe late 50s, early 60s. So like she's not old-ish. I'm like, why did we just freak out? Because I think the car in front of her braked, and instead of her just like, we braked, she's like and just like freaked out. I was like,
she panicked.
Right? I'm like that is. I'm like, I get panicking, but to like just jerk completely away, I'm like, that is nuts.
Dude, my grandmother, God bless her soul, towards the end, she's still alive, but towards like she's older now. She's 87. After a certain point, you got to give up that license. 100%. Right? She was.
I agree.
Somebody who didn't want to like accept that reality, right? Yep. And I would be in the car with her, and I'm not kidding you. It was like a ride at like some crazy haunted amusement park because she would say I would be like, "Oh no, you're supposed to take that right." She slammed on the brakes. And I'm like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Trying to kill everyone.
Like, there could have been people there. Like, she's like, "No, we're fine." And then it got to a point where she got into like 2 fender benders. Mm-hmm. I guess where she just didn't stop in time or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then she was like, yeah, I should probably give up my life. Because we were trying to convince her, like, you can't drive. You're a crazy person on the road. I don't know if you know this. She would not accept. She's like, no, I'm fine. And you know what? I can only imagine when you get older, like, a lot of the things you used to be able to do.
That does get,
like you can't even walk down the stairs anymore. So, I mean, you kind of know. You kind of know. Exactly.
Like, no, you know what?
So, like, you can't drive. She can't, like, she was a mathematician. She can't do math the same. She gets really frustrated.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
She can't, like, walk very far without, you know, getting winded. So, this is one of those things where she was just like, I'm going to have to give up my mobility in a lot of ways, like, in terms of, like, going to church, grocery store, and have to, like, change that, which is I mean, you know how hard it is to get around, super hard.
That'd be frustrating. But no, I do it. I know like they have a age limit, like a requirement to take the test.
And she took the test, and they let her. They were like, "You're good to go." I was like, "Bro, who's rubber stamping these driver's license?" Because there's no chance, man.
I feel like it should be either every year or every other year. You have to take that test.
And what is the test? Are we doing like a actual multiple choice? Are we taking you out on the road?
Exactly.
Yeah, we need somebody in the car,
right? Yeah. Put them on the Hyundai, let them drive for like 3 exits, and then be like, okay,
maybe we could. Maybe you're good to go.
Let's take it away from you. Maybe
my nan. Good thing it was Newfoundland, dude. Because if we were merging in 4 lanes and shit like that, in Newfoundland, it's a lot calmer.
I've never been. I've heard it's like because I know it's pretty. It's smallish.
Oh
no. Yeah.
Well, the island itself is actually pretty big, but there's only really like 2 cities, and there's only really like 1 main city, right? Like St. John's surrounding areas, population of like 220, 250, something like that. The island itself is like 500,000, somewhere around there.
That's not bad.
But like most of it is just like forestry and rural little fishing communities. So there's nothing like going on there. So nobody really lives there except if like older people or whatever like that. So like somewhere like Edmonton, where like the city itself is like 1.2, 1.3 mil, it's like there's a lot more going on here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, I like to call Edmonton a small town metropolitan. Like it's a big city and has a look of a big city, but like most people can walk out and like go anywhere in the city, maybe potentially run into someone you know. Like, because I've been here for a while. 20, just about 20 years. I think it's 20 years in December, actually. Wow, holy crap, I'm old. But yeah, so yeah, we've been here forever. So I lived on every part of the city except for, I guess I just moved west. So west was like the last spot. So I started south, moved north. I guess east I haven't been, but like what the hell? I still don't know what the hell. What is East Edmonton? Is it Abbotsford? Like I couldn't tell you what exactly East Edmonton is.
I guess like nobody ever says east.
Right?
They say north, like Millwood South. Yeah. Sherwood Park. I guess Sherwood Park would be kind of, but it's like east of Edmonton.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, I don't really know what you.
But no one ever's like, yeah, I live East Edmonton.
Couldn't tell you what it
West. Yeah, that's true.
So like I live north, west, and south.
What's the best area, do you think?
For me now, it's been the west. Where we live we're like 10-minute drive from West Edmonton Mall, which by the way is a shit show to get to now.
Crazy shit show.
The construction has just gotten worse.
I used to live right next to it on 178.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah, it's a nightmare because I feel like that project they're doing for the LRT or something like that. Yeah. That's going to be like what, the next 10 years? Yeah. I don't know.
It's there was supposed to be done I think by 2026 was the original thing. Then of course there was like issues with the pillars, and like the thing that like baffles me about the LRT is like, why don't we learn from like other cities? Because like building above ground doesn't always work, and it doesn't work out for the majority of the time because like you're inconveniencing the entire city to put this LRT, and it's going to probably go there, and like people who can use it now probably won't be able to use it in 5 years. It'll probably either be driving or just not here. So like what, like this project's taking so long for what? Usually underground is like the easiest way. Yeah, it's been a frustrating because we've been west for 5 years I think, and that construction has been there since we were there.
Wow.
It's just been going on, and it's actually gotten worse where like one of the like there used to be coming off the Henday to Wem, there was 4 lanes. It was down to 3, and now it's down to just 2, and like barely 2 because like the 2 are very very tight there. And like one of the main roads is completely closed, so you have to go like through like a business center just to get around to the main road now because they've closed off it's just too much, man. I'm so
between the construction and the thunderstorms, and stuff like that that's been happening lately, man. It's crazy. I mean, we just talked about it when you walked in. Like me trying to get here today, I encountered so many road closures, and I rely on Google Maps because I am not familiar with the city. I've only been here over a year. I'm still like trying to navigate it, and I'm like, Google is telling me to go straight. I'm like, dude, I cannot go straight. So I take a left, and it's like trying to get me to come back to the, and I'm like, so fortunately there were people in front of me that obviously knew what they were at, so I just like followed them. But absolute nightmare, man.
I've been here for 20 years. I still use Google for like most places, especially like downtown-ish. Like,
there's a lot going on.
Because like downtown is just I kind of know the layout, but like it's still kind of like if you make a wrong turn downtown, you could be like, where am I at, right?
Yeah. And there is a grid system, but sometimes it doesn't make sense.
No, it
doesn't.
I'm
like, it just skipped 3 streets.
Yeah, exactly. What the hell's going on? Yeah, no, it gets real crazy. And like even Wednesday I had to go for work from work to go meet a family, and like even that supposed to be a 35-minute drive, hour and a half.
Oh yeah,
because of construction. And I was like, this is I was like this because it took me through every single, like I was in traffic and in construction for an hour and 20 minutes.
I believe it.
And then I finally hit the Henday. I'm like, I'm never doing this shit again.
Audiobooks, man. I just podcasted audiobooks. That got me through that position because that's actually how we met. So yeah, let's take it back. So Shaq, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. Of course. We met at a fundraiser actually, and you've been waiting to be employed by the organization I was employed with or formerly employed with. And it was working with like high-risk youth. And this organization that was holding the fundraiser, they were a business that worked with high-risk youth. They're trying to like raise awareness, expand. And you were the first youth going through their organization. That's kind of like what kickstarted them. And when I found that out, and that you won an award that recognizes like that you overcame your hardship and you got to the place where you are now, where now you're going to be a mentor for high risk youth. And that's sort of how we met. I was like, dude, I got to get you on my podcast and like get down to what happened and how you overcame it. And like, yeah, there's a lot there to unpack, I feel like.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Take me back, okay? You said you lived in Edmonton for 20 years, but we're the same age, right? You're 34, 33? Yeah, I'm 33. Age, yeah. So you grew up, where'd you grow up? I remember, was it the States?
It was the States. So I was born in Halifax.
You were born in Halifax?
I was born in Halifax.
Oh,
I was there for...
So you're kind of an East Coaster.
I am an East Coaster. The only thing, I haven't been back since I left, which has been we're going back in September, so my brother's getting married.
Where to?
Nice. We're going to Nova Scotia again.
But where?
I have no idea.
You're just along for the ride.
I got the invitation for the wedding.
You know what? It's gonna be great.
I'm excited to see it because from what I remember, I'm like, it was not great. So I'm like, maybe I know it's gotten better.
That's what you make of it, really. You know.
That is also like we're on the ocean. And
right, you can go in any direction, and you're hitting ocean views, trails, the East Coast laid back lifestyle.
It'll be nice, and then my wife gets to kind of see like where I was born and all that.
My
stuff,
roots, baby. I don't know where we're to, but
couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So I was born in Halifax. Was born to my single mom. She was young.
How young?
She was 16. So for it was
16 and pregnant.
16. It was her first time too. So like I was a happy accident, happy miracle, whatever you want to call it. My father, sorry, not my father, my sperm donor is what I call him. Mm-hmm. Definitely, when I look back at it now, I'm like, you were definitely. He's a weirdo.
Was he 16 as well?
No, he was in his 20s. So we'll just kind of do with that what you want. Yeah, little
creeper.
So born to my mom. My mom was also, she was born rough. Like her family background is also just tumultuous. A lot of stuff going on. Pretty much lived with her dad the whole time. Mother kind of just like pieced out. When I think her and her brother were, I want to say 14, 15, mom pieced out. My mom was actually technically in a residential school too, which was kind of crazy. Yeah, my mom, I know like I'm like this. My mom is light. My mom's probably the color of my palm. Like she's pretty light skinned, freckles, all that stuff. My dad is, again, keep saying that. Sperm donor is like, we call him 3 a.m. He's dark.
Oh, wow.
He's very, very, very dark. 3 a.m. I remember specifically when I was younger, when I did see him, the only time when I was younger, because he was bald, the sun was reflecting off his head, and it was like
that's the only way you could see him.
Yeah, and it was sun reflecting off his head, and it was like a blue tint, and I'm like,
holy
I was like,
shit.
that's normal?
Your dad's an avatar,
bro. It was crazy.
Where's he? What's his heritage? Where's he from?
I think it's Canada. I think he's just like his family is because my generation
Canadian,
goes back.
But what's his? Like,
I couldn't tell you. Like from what we've learned is my family's technically 5th generation Canadian, so I'm 5th generation Canadian technically.
Oh, okay. So he's been around.
He's been around. Like I know our the story of our family apparently was my great ancestor, whatever, was a slave, obviously. Killed his slave master, got the slave master's wife pregnant, and ran to Canada. Hence our family started.
Even if that's not true, that's a badass
right?
story.
I'm like that. Like from what I've been told, yeah. Right. I'm like, if this is actually how we started, I'm like, you know what? That's dope.
That's all I need to hear.
Right? I'm like, bet, love it.
We'll go with that.
Exactly. Right. So that's how we started. We've been here, and like Nova Scotia is like the blackest province in Canada. Like there's so much black history
you
there.
know what? I think so. Not to cut you off.
No, you're
I'm
good.
from Newfoundland, as you know. I moved to Nova Scotia, lived there for a year. I remember it was the first place where I was in. I went to a Walmart just to buy some essentials as soon as I arrived.
Of course.
I was the only white guy there. I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, where the fuck am I?
Where am I to right now?
It
was very multicultural. I mean, Canada is in general. Newfoundland, not so much. Very whitewashed there.
Yeah.
Or you might have one black guy in your school. You know what I mean? Growing up, I hung out with a black guy. Yep. Very rare. Now it's much more diverse, right? A lot of people are immigrating. But I remember specifically Nova Scotia being like, I'm the only white guy here. I'm the minority right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of like black culture, like Africaville, all stuff was all there. So that's where my family kind of started. Our roots were from. My mom was pregnant with me, and she actually was a professional, not a professional. She was a like star track runner. She ran for like I think it was Team Nova Scotia or Team Canada. Either way, she was like really she won awards and stuff.
Nice.
Which is why I thank her for my legs. So I got her legs. So I got the genetics. I'm like, yeah,
you had them.
yeah,
you
had them.
Not anymore.
Valid, right? But yeah, so she was still in and out of the system. She was a residential school kid. It wasn't like technically it was one, but it wasn't labeled as one. Because she was there with a bunch of like kids that were either because if you look at my mom, she kind of looks like she'd be indigenous, and like we have
she was just like taken from her family.
She like because what happened essentially was when her like my grandfather and grandmother were together for a bit, there was a huge split. Both of them pretty much could not have custody of my mom, so my mom was in foster care, like or in the system, and then instead of putting her in foster care, they're like, hey, go here. So they just put her to the school, and she was there for like 2 or 3 years, where she was abused, like physically, sexually, all that. She was just had a rough time there. Maybe not sexual. She was abused. I don't think it was sexual. But it was like just a lot of abuse. It was really, really bad there.
Okay.
To the point where she got a settlement, like I think 10 years ago. They paid her like, hey, we realized what happened. Here's some money from the government, sort of thing. It was around the time that residential schools were coming out. So maybe it was longer than that, but it was like when the residential schools were getting exposed, that's when they started doing payouts. So she actually got like 15 grand from the government. I think it was actually more than that. But anyway, so she was a good kid, but also like made bad decisions a lot. So I saved her life because she was actually going to jail for murder. Yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
So it was deemed self-defense because what was going on was she was in a store. I don't know if she was showing me. She was technically like pregnant at the time, but she was in the store. She's grabbing something to eat, and like a group of boys were just like talking. So my mom was a tomboy too, so she had short hair, all that stuff. So they were just talking crazy shit about it. It was a group of white boys. If this is relevant, group of white boys just talking shit about, and they were being racist, calling her names, all this stuff, right? And then they were like calling her. Cause I guess they may have knew her. I don't remember this, but they're calling her a monkey. All this, and someone apparently threw a banana peel at her. It was just crazy, right? So she's trying to leave, and then they block her off. Like, they're like, no, you can't leave, or whatever. And like it's glass door, glass windows and stuff, right? Long story short, she ends up pushing the one boy it pushes him. He falls through the window, and like he dies. Like falls through the window, he dies. Right? It was insane. Like she got arrested. Judge was like, the only reason I'm letting you out because you are pregnant. Like it's like it was clear. Like first it was like, hey, you're going to jail for murder. Like it's like, hey, you killed this person. But then like witnesses came out like, hey, no, actually, like it was one girl against like 7 dudes, and like the 7 dudes would not let her leave. So blah blah blah. I was like, right. So
dude, what kind of strength does she have?
My mom again, all legs, bro. Just all legs. She said it was momentum or whatever happened. But either way, like pushing someone through a window was crazy. Right? I think the glass cut him like somewhere where like he just kind of like bled out, and it was just. I think he went to the hospital, was fine, and just was dead. My mom said, like again, just craziness. So, and she at this point she was kind of in and out of the system still, like the justice system anyway. So judge was like, hey, like you're going to jail, obviously, and then like things came out, and they're like, hey, okay, so it wasn't like murder, but it wasn't like first thing it was like, hey, manslaughter. And then they're like, hey, my mom found out she was pregnant. I think she was like maybe 4 or 5 months in. And then they're like, hey, pretty much you're pregnant. This is your consent. This is your second chance. Like, or your third or fourth or whatever. Like, hey.
Are they able to do that? That's crazy. Well,
insane.
Yeah, right? I don't know.
Insane. So
that is insane.
I guess saved her life where she wasn't in prison. So she has me. Didn't really have like. She was doing her best I think technically she was 17 because she had me like I'm 2 months before her birthday, so she was 16 when she had me, but she was pretty much 17 years old, trying to be a single mom in the 90s, different than now, obviously.
Yeah, especially with no family support. It sounds like. How was she? Was she getting like social assistance?
She was living. I think we were living with my grandfather for a bit. She was staying there. She was pretty much. She would work and then she would support him. She went to school. I think she took nursing. Yeah, she went to nursing school like after everything. She went to nursing school, got her stuff figured out. I think she technically didn't graduate high school. She might have, but I think she got her GED actually. But anyway, so we stayed with my grandfather for a bit, and then we got to the point where it was like, hey, she was just paying this like to support the household. My grandfather, again, I have nothing but great things to say about him. Love him to death, but he also, my family has a drinking problems. I will say, like everyone, like a lot of people have drinking problems in the family. So my grandfather just had this problem, and so my mom was like taking care of him and taking care of me, and like always just like paying the bills. She was doing a lot.
Yeah.
So I got to a point where I think I was 4 or 5 years old, and she's like, "Hey, you're gonna go like meet your dad and go stay with your dad." And he lived in BC, and me as a kid, I'm like, "Oh, BC's right next door, other side of the fucking country." But I didn't know that, right?
As far as you can go.
Yeah. Also, I didn't realize you could fly alone as a kid. Didn't know that was a thing. Yeah.
Flight attendants sort of like look after
you.
Yeah,
it was really weird. So she sent me on a plane. Like, hey, go visit your dad.
I would do that.
I would never. I mean, like now you can't. Like, I know I couldn't. But back then, I'm like,
I guess if like it's a dire situation,
yeah.
But I can't imagine just my little kid being like, no, you're good.
The trust,
you got her. All right, peace.
Right. And like the trust, like I guess again back then it was a different time. I guess whatever. So she sends me to BC to go sit with my dad. He was in Vancouver, and that was the first and only time I've ever actually met him.
How old were you at this point?
5, maybe 4. Actually, no, I was turning 5 that summer.
Wait. So she sent you because
she's like, you need to. I think he was like saying, hey, I want to see my son. So she's like, hey, you know what? Go spend the summer with him because I was 5 because I started kindergarten in the fall. So she's like, hey, go visit.
So you had a summer break,
but
you didn't even know him.
Had never met him.
And
again,
she just go spend the summer with him.
Yep. Again. 4 or 5, I don't really have a memory before that, but yeah, right. I may have met him when I was a baby, but again, I don't know.
Recollection,
right? So
she obviously felt comfortable with it.
I think she was again like my mom didn't make the best decisions.
She needed a break or something.
She probably needed a break. Like there was a lot going on. She was so she probably just was like, hey, like if he's off and take him, blah, blah. And I think she knew other family of his that were there, so she was kind of a little more like comfortable. Like, hey, go ahead. Like I know I'll have people to watch him. So
that seems like a crazy move to me.
It looking back, it still is because it was really fucked up. So
it'd be different if he was like visiting you and like you had someone. He's like, okay, I'll take you for
So sends me there, and then I don't really have a positive comment about that.
No.
It was all I remember was abuse, like just, and I mean like brushing my teeth. I'm 5, by the way. Brushing my teeth, all of a sudden just boom, punch in the mouth. Bleeding from the mouth. He was just because my father was. I gotta stop saying that. My sperm donor was on. He did a lot of drugs, like heavy drugs. So he did smoke pot, which is like that's whatever. I don't care about weed, but it was more like I think he was in a crack. I'm pretty sure it was crack and smoking crack, and like he was on some shit, right?
Damn, so he was just super violent. Was he just like angry?
Yeah, he would have random outbursts, like a lot of random.
He would just take it out on you for no reason.
Because I'd be there once. So he like. Abused the hell out of me, and I remember like I used to be deathly allergic to it was radishes and strawberries, so don't avoid those at all times.
So random,
very random. So he knew this, and so he still would buy strawberries all the time, like whatever. Now, so I was like, hey, whatever, like you eat them, you're an adult, you know better, right? But there was one day I remember he passed out on the couch, and I'm starving because I'm 4, but I'm like I'm hungry, so I'm like trying to get him awake. He's not getting awake, so I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go into the fridge. I go in the fridge. And I see strawberries. I'm like, whatever. I want to eat some, right? Because I didn't really, again, I'm a 5-year-old kid. Whatever. I don't have to justify it. I'm a 5-year-old kid, right? So I open up and I start like just devouring these strawberries, right? I don't know what it was. Either I wasn't allergic to strawberries or I ate myself out of my allergy because I ate the entire tub of strawberries. My throat felt like it was like closed, like it was like getting big. I'm like, what's happening? So like, what? I couldn't breathe. But then 10 minutes later, I was fine.
Maybe it wasn't just that severe.
Maybe it wasn't severe. Like, probably it wasn't because like now I love strawberries.
I have a avocado allergy, but like what happens to me is just like I have like a little bit of like a reaction, but then it goes away. Like it's not severe.
Yeah, which is probably what it was.
Well, that's what happened. I never tried it again.
But again, I'm like, oh, what's going on? So like I had that, and like he found out. I would have been not here. Man. Yeah, so I woke up, and instead of being like, oh, like what's going on? Are you okay? He again woke up, freaked out that I ate all those strawberries, and just like lost his mind. I was like, bro, I'm 5. You were passed out. What am I like? What are we talking about? Right?
Yeah.
So, after going through like the abuse for we moved around a lot. Like we were never in the same spot, which is like for the summer is crazy. They just constantly moving. I remember like living in his van at one point. Like it was bad. It was just a really bad situation. I remember I stayed with him and his cousin for a while. His cousin was really cool.
So he didn't have his own spot.
He did at the like near the end, but even then I don't think it was actually his spot. Yeah, he was floating around a lot. Yeah. So when it came time for me to go back, which was like September-ish, all of a sudden, all contact with my mom stops. He just goes MI, doesn't contact her at all, and kidnaps me. So then just disappears, cuts contact. Everyone who he knew spoke to her. He was like, we're not talking to them anymore. Done.
Yeah, I was like, where are these family members you felt comfortable with?
Just he cut contact. He just gone. So I don't know how long it was. I think my mom said it was like a month and a half, 2 months or whatever. Just constantly on the run. Only way we got caught was the cousin that we stayed with a lot. We went to their house one day, and then like that cousin, I guess, reached out to my mom because he was like, "Hey, like, why the fuck is Shaq still here? Right? Shouldn't he be in school?" And I was like, "Oh, he's fine. He's not going to school. Blah blah." Right? So he gets in contact with my mom. He's like, "Hey, like, what's going on?" So then finally they arrange a plan. So all I remember is I don't remember like exactly how it happened. The specifics were like I remember we were at my dad's place and get a knock on the door. Opens the door. He goes to the door, looks out, and he's like freaking out, right? And then I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, get your stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. And like it's an apartment, so there's not really another exit, right? So he goes to, like the balcony. We're on like the 3rd or 4th floor. And he's like, we're gonna go. I'm like, what are we doing? He's like, oh, we're just gonna climb down here, right? And then you can hear like, please open the door, right? And all of a sudden the door gets kicked open. 4 cops come in, grab him, put him in cuffs, grab me, whatever, right? So I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, what the fuck's going on, right?
Yeah.
So they drive us to the airport. They let him come to the airport, which is also kind of weird. I was like, whatever. So they drive us to the airport, let him say bye, whatever. Let him give me a hug, a kiss, whatever. And then like legit had a cop escort me to the plane. He's like, hey, go. Right? I was like, okay, weird, but sure.
Did you had no understanding what was going on?
Zero.
Did you want to talk to your mom at this point? Were you in contact?
Yeah, well, because like at that point, I wasn't in contact with anyone. I just was like, because at the point when you're 5 years, I'm like, I don't really know I'm like, I'm just here. Like I was like,
how were you spending your days?
Playing with toys, man. Like I was just like doing my best to kind of keep my brain going and playing with my toys, just kind of like being a 5-year-old kid. I'm just like, oh, these things are fun. Let me just go look and play with this dirt here, do this. Like I was just doing what I could. Almost like kind of like trying to find a way to keep my brain away from like the reality, what the fuck's going on. Like,
I guess you probably didn't even really understand the grand scope of things. No. So you were just, I guess this is my...
Yeah, I knew it was bad because I did know, like, he vocally said, like, hey, you're not going back to your mom. Like, he said that stuff. I'm like, well, I want to go back to my mom. I'm like, I miss my mom. But he was just like, nope, you're not going back, right? So, I, like, as a 5-year-old, you kind of, like, you're like, oh, I want to go back. You cause a scene. But then you're powerless. You can't do anything, right? So, like, I was just doing my best to kind of just play with my toys and just kind of be, like, away from stuff. So I got, like, a deep love for, like, Pokemon and stuff. I'm just loved it, right? Just doing all that stuff.
Pokemon, man.
I do. So I have that. What is it? It's a pixel. It's Alakazam, my favorite Pokemon, but like it's a pixelated one.
Yeah. I didn't know it, man. Yeah. I've spent. You know, it's funny you say that because I spent a lot of my childhood playing Pokemon.
Same. Yep.
I'm talking about a lot.
Oh, same, bro.
Like a lot. Yep. And it was through probably around similar ages as well, because we're similar age. Yep. To get through a lot of that hardship as well, right? I'm like, because it was something I really look forward to.
Yep, but that was Pokemon, me too. I still love Pokemon.
Oh, same, I don't play it anymore, but it's changed a lot. Oh, it's changed a lot, dude.
There's like over 1,000. I'm like, bro, we're doing too much.
What's going on?
They're doing, I think they're doing their 10th generation coming up this year. I'm like, we're doing too much.
The games are a lot different.
So much different.
I don't know, everything has changed. I'm like an old person with technology. Like it's back in my day, we only had 200 Pokemon.
Now it's 1,000,
which is like. Yeah, we could go on forever about Pokemon. Anyways, okay, you're playing Pokemon.
Yeah, so I was playing Pokemon and stuff, just kind of keep myself going. I think, what is it? Maybe, I think it was, because Pokemon at that point just came out in America. I think was what it was. It was like 98, 99-ish. So I remember just getting back home, and then I think I was home with my mom, because again, with my grandfather I think I went to school for kindergarten. I remember that. And again, I don't really have much memories. I wasn't really the best kid in school either, because I was just like, my home life wasn't the best. It was, we'll say, at best, it was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe a 3. Like, it was just like, we lived in this place. I think it was called Mulgrave Park. I think it was the place, shout out. But lived there, and it was pretty much the ghetto, like as close to the ghetto as you could get in Canada. It was pretty bad. Like, it was just, everyone in the block knew each other, which was kind of good, but like, it was the ghetto.
Hard spot. How was your dad making money?
My dad, I don't think he was. I think he was.
How was he paying for?
I don't. Oh no, he was, because he was doing construction jobs. Because I remember he actually brought me to work, and I was doing again 5 years old, doing construction stuff.
Wow, he's like, yeah, get on that excavator,
bro. We were like picking up like little, like, I think it was just like concrete, something with concrete. I remember just picking up rocks and moving them. Like, it was just weird shit. Damn. I remember he took me, one thing I will say, good thing, he took me camping when I was younger. I don't remember how to do it now, but like back then he taught me how to, like, we made like a full-fledged table, like out of wood, logs, all that stuff. So I'm like, that's cool, but that was the only kind of memory out of that. I'm like, that's kind of it.
That's strange. He seems so strange.
we'll get to him. Yeah, he's an interesting fellow. Yeah, so like kindergarten was like I was getting just normal. I was getting in trouble a lot, fights, all that stuff, right?
And
it was like
at home. Your life is chaotic. There's no stability. You're not being taught regulation, life skills,
it was
positive
weird
relationships.
Yeah, exactly. And my mom like wasn't. This is not even a slight on her. Just she wasn't present. I remember like, I got was it in kindergarten? It might have been kindergarten. I think at the end of the year, my mom lost custody of me. Just because the government was like, hey, living conditions are pretty shit, and you can't be there. So she lost custody of me, so I was in foster care.
Wait, and so like, this is when you returned?
I returned from being kidnapped with my mom. I'm there for like less than a year, for like maybe 8 or 9 months because of the school year, maybe 8 months of the school year. And then they're like, hey, by the way, like, you can't.
Yeah, social workers checking in on
you. They're like, yeah, no, this is not a good condition.
What was the conditions?
I think it was just we didn't have stability. Because like we were living with my grandfather, but then like they would get into a big fight and kick us both. He would kick us both out, and then like
who's calling social services?
Probably
never
the school.
Found out. Probably school.
Yeah, probably school. Because I would go to school in the same clothes or whatever. Like just it was rough.
Probably
right?
Just start asking some questions.
Yeah. So so it was just a whole lot of like the typical stuff. You see a kid in rough shape, you kind of call, right? So anyway, I remember specifically we're at like the child services office, I guess is what it was, and like my mom is there. And this is when she like signed over, like she had to like not give up rights, but like saying, hey, he can go to foster care or whatever. So she's being in the building when like the last time I'm saying bye to my mom was what I thought it was. Like, holy crap, this sucks, right? So I'm just being in that building, and like obviously they do their best, like give you toys and stuff to kind of distract you. So it was like,
buy you some food,
all that stuff, right, to kind of keep you like your mind off of like that reality.
Were you like? What was it? Were you like very emotional? Did you kind of understand?
I cried a lot when like my mom said bye. Pussy. Just because I know, bro. Old me would say pussy. Yeah. So I cried a lot. Again, I'm like I may have been 6. My ages might be off. Just
around that age.
Yeah, I was around that age.
5 to 10.
Yeah, pretty much. So I just remember my mom lost custody, and then I was like, okay, well, I guess bye. So I'm freaking out. And I go to this family, and this family was like. They were cool at first because they had I think there was 2 other foster kids, and then one kid was like their actual biological child. Yeah. So foster care, it was good. I was like, okay, this is fun. Like these people are like nice. They went to church every Sunday. They were actually pretty religious.
Black,
they were it was a black couple.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty, was it just black? I remember the father was black. Was it mom? I think the mom was black. I don't remember the mom at all. So it might have been mixed. I know the dad was black. Could not even tell you what she was. Not that's pretty bad. Whatever. So was there? I remember one of the girls. She was like ginger. So I think she was ginger in their son. Yeah. So it was a white mom because the biological son was mixed. So they were good for like I want to say the first couple months. I'm like, yeah, this is great. They were like treating me like part of the family. And then there was like one night I just remember like things were kind of going down. I think my problems were coming back out again. So I was like just being bad at school. Lashing out. They would put me in camps and stuff and like try to put me in Christian camps. I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to be here, right? Not for me, right? So I'm just like doing crazy things, just being again rebellious kids because again, where I was from, my childhood, all that stuff just kind of comes out. You don't really know, right? So from there, it turns into like I'm getting disciplined more. They're kind of being more harsh, more strict on me. Some abuse. It wasn't abuse. It was discipline at that point, but it was just like getting hit with belts, things like that. I remember specifically there was one conversation that happened that like still sticks in my head to this day was me and the boy, so their biological son we were in the one room, the girl's in her own room. Mm-hmm. So we had bunk beds. So I remember one night I was on the top bunk, he was on the bottom. We're just chatting, trying to go to bed or whatever. And the topic came up about like the parents and like I was aware they were not my real parents, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember just telling him like, yeah, they're not my real parents, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm going to the bathroom. So he goes to the bathroom. He went to go tell them that I said this, which was like, whatever. It's dark outside. I don't know what time, but it's middle of the night. So they literally call all 3 of us downstairs to the basement. I'm like, okay. And like the father's sitting at the computer. I remember he turns around, or maybe he was sitting at a desk. I don't know if it was a computer, but he's sitting at a desk. He turns around, he's like scolding all of us, like, oh, you don't say that, we're not your real parents, blah, blah, blah. It goes off. And I remember like, he specifically looks at me and like just goes off on me, like just about my comments and stuff. And then like, hits my hand like a stick and like just does some crazy shit in front of me. I'm like, what the fuck? So after that happened, I got shortly after I got removed from there. Like I think my mom got. I don't remember specifically, but I think my mom got custody back. I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember I wasn't there much longer, and I was kind of gone.
I wonder why he was so upset that said that, because obviously they're not your real parents.
No, they're not.
But he just wanted to like keep a facade. Was he upset that you told the other kids?
Maybe, but which is weird because like that kid also was your child, so like that kid shouldn't be surprised. So it was a weird thing, right? And
that is a weird thing.
And there was another thing I remember that just popped in my head too. Was remember like because where our room was, we come out our room, the bathroom was immediately to the left. It was like the only bathroom upstairs. So I remember I needed to go pee one day, and the mom was in there. Again, I can't remember. I think she was. I don't remember. Whatever. So she's in the bathroom. I'm like, hey, well, again, I'm a kid. I'm like, I'm not peeing in front of this woman. So like, I sit down to pee. Cause I'm like, I don't want her to see my penis.
Right.
And she goes like, you don't sit down when you people. And she goes off on me. I'm like, again, I was like, I don't know you. I get like
very controlling.
It was a really weird vibe.
I wonder what because some people get into fostering children from like a really loving, caring place.
Oh, 100%. We know someone
for financial motivation.
100%.
And the people who do it for like the financial reasons, I don't know if like that's where all these poor parenting, controlling.
It is. People don't get into it for the right reason a lot, and I think that like you said, that is the problem. Is like you don't know. They'll put on a facade for like the people that they have to make. Oh yeah, we love kids. We want to help them. Blah blah. And in reality, it's like, hey, I just want either the check or I want to like. A lot of it also stems from racism, where it's like, hey, the mom was white, so that's what. So it stems from racism of like, hey, this black child, this colored child, or whatever, came from a broken home. I'm sure my white values or my values in general can help this kid. So like we're gonna it's like when white people adopt black kids, sometimes it's sort of like, oh, we're being nice, but a lot of times it's like, hey, we're gonna take them from Africa and we can just change them. It's like that's not. There's racism sending it, but they don't really know it. But that's a different conversation.
Right.
But yeah, so they were just like controlling. It was really weird. So then I remember, even when we went to church, it was weird because I went to Sunday school a lot, and it was like, say you're a family, say you're a brother, blah 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 blah. So when I left there, I went back to my mom, and at this point, I was going into second grade. So yeah, it was only for the year. So I was only in second grade. Oh no, it was 2 years because kindergarten for So I went in second grade. So in second grade, things were kind of like up and down and kind of good, but like it was just like second grade, whatever. I remember like my mom was there sometimes, not there. She was working a lot, trying to just kind of keep her head above water. But we're back with my grandfather at this point.
Okay.
So then by I want to say it's like near the end. Yeah, it was near the end of my school year for second grade. The mom's like, hey, by the way, I'm moving to Boston for a year. You're going to stay here with Granddad, and then I will bring you back. I'll come grab you, and you'll come with me. And she's like, pretty much she wants to go there, establish herself, which I understand. She wants to go there, establish herself, make sure she's good, and then she'll bring me in instead of
What's in Boston?
She had a job offer. She got a really good job offer because she was a nurse. Yeah, so she had a really good job offer, one that paid her like way more than she was making. Okay. So she's like, I'm going to go take this job, which me being, I guess, logical now, I'm like, yeah, I get it. Would I have done it? No, I brought my child with me, but like I get you want to kind of fresh start, make sure you're established before you bring your child who's already been in chaos and bring them into more chaos. So like I respect her for that, right? So the only problem is she's like, you're gonna stay with your granddad, and she paid him. She's like, whoever, pretty much she was like, I will just pay him to keep you, whatever, right?
He was drinking and stuff?
He was drinking.
Was he chaos?
He just was, because it sounds drunk. Like he wasn't chaos, he was just drunk. Like that was honestly just it. Like,
was he able to like, because you were obviously a young kid, so you need to be like cooked for.
He would cook. The thing is, I couldn't remember how many times he would cook. He would cook.
Bring you to school. Like there's a lot for a year?
I walked to school.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I walked to school.
But still, I mean, I feel like there's a lot to that.
There was a lot. They did give, like, my mom had like support, so she like the family would come visit, all that stuff, right? My grandpa was also at the point where he was declining in health and age and stuff, so he's kind of like, he was always chilling. My grandpa also scarred me. Like I don't know how many times I'd come home and he was fucking someone on the couch, like no, dead at, like you, because how it worked, you just walk in the front door, you could see straight through to the couch.
How old was this guy?
He was I think maybe in his late 50s at this point.
Just smashing random people?
The thing, I knew these people. Like, this lady was my Aunt Crystal, but like, but it wasn't actually my aunt, but we called her my aunt. But like, I'm like, bro, what?
You're
and
just
like,
going through the family tree.
Bro, it was crazy. Because like, she's like, she's not related to us. Like, we just know her. I think she's like someone's cousin or whatever. But like, everyone was like, oh, she's gay. And I come home, I'm like, that doesn't look gay to me. But again, I didn't know.
That doesn't look gay to me.
Right.
She's
but
blowing.
I was like, all right. Right. It was just crazy.
But wait, why in the living room?
I couldn't tell you. He had a room upstairs.
What would happen? You'd walk in.
I'd walk in like, oh, and they'd be like, oh, and they just kind of like, first of all, most times actually, they didn't know I was there. I would walk in and just go upstairs. And like, cause like, walk in, like, they're just, I'm like, cool. And I would just kind of like, I'm going upstairs. They didn't know what was happening. It's like, hey, whatever. They're being whatever. That is insane. So that was happening. So one thing my grandfather taught me that was something that stuck in my head and was
doggy style.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. No, he had this rule he used with my mom and my uncle too. Was if you ever got into a fight, he was really old school. If you ever got into a fight and you got beat up, you could not come home. If you came home and you got beat up, he was going to whoop your ass and send you back outside.
He was one of those?
He was one of those.
Okay.
So I remember specifically, so where we live again, it was a ghetto. You could see that we had a playground still like in the middle of it. It was, I won't say it's like fully ghetto. It was like, it was housing, I guess. Right, it wasn't really full ghetto. But anyway, it was a playground there. So I remember being on the playground once and we had this new kid, I think his name was Levi, came like, the first white kid that stayed in our area. So it was like, oh, cool, we have a cool white kid here, right? Mm-hmm. And again, he was trying to like fit in and try to be cool. So all of a sudden, he started like picking fights with people, and then he tried to pick a fight with me. And then instead of me, I'm like, I'll just beat this kid's ass. I'm like, it's fine, whatever. Again, I've been in fights at that age a lot. All of a sudden, I get jumped. It wasn't just one. It was I'm fully like my arms are being held back while this kid's kicking me in my. It was just this crazy thing. It was weird. I remember seeing that kid's face when he kicks me in the chest. Anyway, my grandfather sees this because it's loud, so he sees it from the window. So I'm cut up, I'm hurt, I'm tired and sore. I remember I walk up, it was like getting to him, like his house, so they like go up these big ass stairs. It was a long walk, so I'm like, okay, I'll just go, blah, blah, blah. I remember opening the door. I don't even see him. I just hear, he's like, you know what happens if you cross that door? And I'm like, what?
Just haymakers.
Bro, right? So like, there was points where like, I'll get back to this, but like I would come home and know I was in trouble. So you'd come in, like open the door, there's like a little closet, like the coat closet there. I would hide in the coat closet. I would crouch down, like hide behind like all the shoes and stuff, like the jacket, so he couldn't see me. So I'd come in and like sit right there and hide. I remember just watching him like coming into the house pissed off trying to find me while I'm like hiding in the closet, like just sitting there terrified, watching this man walk by. It was traumatizing.
Because I mean,
it was even not. He would just be mad for anything. It wasn't just fights. He would just be again. He had his outrages, right? So I remember just hiding, just like in that little corner. Thank God, like his dog never snitched on me. Like she was good. She would just kind of like, her name was Sweetness. She would just lay there and just kind of chill. Never like barked at me being there. She would just kind of.
So we were just like waiting for him to leave, and then you just.
I would just wait for him to leave, and like I would like. Wait. I remember I left early once. He like kind of came back in and saw me, like whooped me. So I was like, I made a habit of like waiting till I knew he was chill, and I like. Pop out, open the door, and like act like I just came back in, right? Sort of thing. So this specific day when I came in, he was like saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm just come back in." So I legitimately had to go hunt down each one of these kids one-on-one and like fight them. And like the Levi kid lived like 3 doors down from me, so I remember like knocking on his door, asking his mom like, "Oh hi," I'm like, "Oh, is Levi here?" So like, he'll be here in a second. I remember like when he came to the door, his face, like I just swung. I'm in the
hey, it's Levi.
Yeah, and the mom,
honey, come on in.
Right.
Hey,
Boom, yeah, and
bitch.
She's like, oh my god, right?
Get you and your mama.
Right. So I just remember swinging on this kid.
That's
his mom's like, what the
shit.
fuck, right? So like she's like grabbing me as I'm like fucking her kid up.
That's crazy.
And I had to like I don't think I got home until like it was dark as shit.
What are your thoughts on that? That type of like, because I have 2 minds. Okay, one of my minds is, okay, if your kid comes home and he gets the shit kicked out of him, yeah, don't be a dickhead. Be like, no, you're not coming back until you turn into the Terminator, take him out one by one.
Right?
Okay, you're not John Wick. Relax. But like, I feel like in some scenarios, because my experiences growing up as well, there were times that I got bullied and I got beat up, and it really started to shift when I said no more. Yep. And I'm going to fight back.
Oh, 100%.
Whether I lose or not, I'm going to...
throwing hands.
And hopefully it doesn't get to the point where I throw hands, because I'm just going to act like if you touch me, it's on. and act like a crazy person, and that worked.
Yo, 100%. Yeah.
So it's like, do you like, what do you do here? Because a lot of people, well, you tell your principal, you call the police, and I don't think that all the time that safeguards kids like people think that it does, man. Like,
especially now that I'm a new father, because my son just turned 1. I'm in a mixed bag, just like you. My thing is, like, I'm going to teach my son how to defend himself.
Self-defense, martial arts. I think it's good to just even have those skills in case you're in scenarios. And a lot of martial arts program, they teach discipline and nonviolence. Yep. And and then you're surrounded by other people who are also can take care of themselves, and you're in a good friend group. So hopefully it mitigates any of those scenarios anyways. Yep. That's the way I view it as well, because 100%. People think that, sure, I don't think that you should like silently continue to take it, and I also don't think that you should lash out and really hurt somebody else, because you could kill someone, right?
100%.
But like when you tell a teacher or whatever, they're not following you around 24/7, acting as your bodyguard. Like, you get labeled as like a rat, and then when you're outside of school grounds or something, that's when you're getting jumped.
I've been in that situation.
So you have to like be very strategic in the sense, like, okay, you either defend yourself, you defend yourself, or you find a way where you can avoid the conflict altogether. Yeah. Or, I don't know. If someone really seriously hurts you, though, then, like, they should be held accountable. 100%. They should be charged. They should face some serious 100%. Charges. And hopefully that's a deterrent for everybody else not to mess with you. But,
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, because I think with my son, like, I'm going to teach him, like, obviously self-defense. When I was young, I think I was around the 5 or 6 age, my uncle stepped in and said, "Hey, you're going to take boxing." Like, he's like, "You're going to learn how to fight. Like, you're going to." That's why I fought a lot. It was good, but also I didn't take the discipline lesson from it. I just took the I know how to fuck people up lesson from that, right? Tough. Which was bad.
And I feel like that sort of boils down to like the coaches and the culture.
It was just a lot. The way I was raised, it just wasn't gonna hit home for me at that point, just because of how everything else was. So I just learned how to whoop people's ass. And then like that same uncle then, because he was he was in the military, so like, "Hey, you're gonna learn hand-to-hand combat, like military hand-to-hand combat," which I was a little older, but like again, I was like, now I really know how to hurt people, which comes into effect later on. But anyway, so with me now with kids, it's like my son's gonna know how to defend himself, but with me, it's gonna be like, "Hey, your first job, tell a teacher, say, hey, like," and what you're gonna say, "Listen, this is your first warning to the kid. Like, this is your first warning. I'm gonna let the teacher know what's going on. You continue this. I'm no longer like the teacher's not being informed anymore. So I might go tell a teacher, say, hey, this is what happened." Depending what the teacher does, she goes, "Oh, it's okay, just playing around." It's like, "Okay, cool, you did that part. So if you get suspended, I'm like, I know at least you covered your bases, right?" Yeah. So I'm like, if the kid continues it, I'm like, then you tell him, "Hey, you do it again, I will hurt you. That's gonna be it." And then it happens again. I'm like, "Okay, cool. Third time, you try, you warn them." I'm like, I will say, you hurt that kid, and if their parents have a problem with it, I'm like, I will deal with the parents, because like that to me, it's like I've always said, like if my kid goes to school and comes back beat up, I'm like, I'll be mad, like, "Hey, what happened?" Blah blah blah. If he's just being bullied, I'm like, I can't beat the bullies out. I'm like, the bully's dad, if he has one, I'm like, I'm gonna fuck the dad up. Obviously, I'm like, I have more things I can't risk that now. But I'm like, that's my mindset. Like, mentality, right? But I'm like, you're instincts. Not gonna, right? It's like, you bully my son. I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna bully your dad.
Yeah, right? So because a lot of institutions and places, they have a lot to deal with as it is.
100%,
and it's very hard to try to mitigate every form of bullying and violence. I get it, but a lot of people slip through the cracks, and then it turns into something. It escalates to something that it doesn't need to be, man. Yep. So if you can nip it in the bud right away, I mean, that'd be great.
That's what I'm like. You can only
hopefully it never happens,
right? But you can only hope for it.
I think if they are in martial arts, and people know about that, because 100%. I knew of people in high school that were involved in boxing or something, and I feel like nobody like really messed with them anyways, because you're like, he actually trains. Yep. You know, so like I could try to be a tough guy, and he could just like, you know, do some foundational move. You
swing and your arm's broken.
Give you the
now.
1-2 and you're on the ground, right? Yep. So I feel like putting children in martial arts
100%.
is almost essential these days.
I think
not just like a boxing, kickboxing, but like jiu-jitsu, because it's a lot more mainstream now. So a lot more people know it, which means you have to be more capable than you thought that you already were. And then, I mean, besides all the obvious health benefits, I mean, you might be in a scenario where you might actually need to defend yourself. Yep. And you don't want to be that guy who's just like swinging for the fences or getting your ass kicked, handed to you, right?
No, I'm gonna say mine. I think that's definitely like it's important. My son, it's early. I think we said 4 or 5. Is like when he's like coherent a bit. I'm like, you know what?
When he's got some coordination.
Exactly. So, yeah, we're gonna get you into martial arts. I took Taekwondo when I was like 16ish. So I'm like,
nice. I took Taekwondo as well. I got kicked out though.
I lasted, I think, 3 months. So yeah.
I got kicked out. I was using my moves. Some people, which that was like yourself, where I was, but I was getting fights, man.
Exactly.
And I don't think it was totally fair to kick me out. But whatever, it worked out because I didn't think Taekwondo was really for me anyways. I think that it's good for like kicks and like the discipline stuff like that. But like if you really want self-defense, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, really those shit like that. You're doing karate, you're doing Taekwondo. Yeah, sure, you could obviously learn some things. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's not, I feel like it's not as effective.
No, and like with me, this is not me bashing on it. It's just I know when I did it, there was like, it sounds crazy. It felt like a little, almost like I was a performer for them. In the sense of like my instructor would always like test my athleticism. So there was like a thing where like he wanted us to run and jump over like this pads and stacks or whatever, like and like land perfectly. And like there was one day we went as like a class, like our school. I went to high school here. Our school, we went to the Taekwondo thing right across the street. So we went there for like just a field trip. So it was the same place. I'm like, oh yeah, I know the instructor, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, oh yeah, we're going to put your athleticism on display. Like he just kept stacking up these things. And like, no bullshit. I have the cup at home still. I jumped 6 feet high. Like I ran and jumped 6 feet high, like, and cleared this thing. Right? I loved it. My mom's genetics in my legs. I had insane hops.
Yeah.
So, like but that was like a constant thing. Like a constant like display. Like, oh, we'll see how high Shaq can jump. And it was like, after a while, I was like, this is a little weird, man. Like I'm learning how to do something. Like also, why are you making me jump so much? Like what's the point of this? I'm like, this has nothing to do with Taekwondo. So just like a really weird thing. So I was like, and also like I was like, I'm just learning how to kick. I'm like, I already know how to hurt people. I'm like, do I really need this more? So I didn't really like. I was like, whatever. Kicks are fine. I'm like, I don't think I'll need a kick. So I'll be fine. But again, it's not me saying Taekwondo doesn't work because it does. But I was like,
great.
It
has a lot of benefits. But I think that like the practicality long term is like
was not for me.
There's better martial arts out there for like a well-rounded.
Yep. System. If you're trying to learn, I think full on like defend myself. Like Taekwondo, again, you can defend yourself like in the certain aspects of it, but like. I think jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai stuff, the things that can be more...
Jiu-jitsu, like, Muay Thai, and wrestling, you got that 3, I feel like you're good.
You're good. Yeah, 100%. Throw in a little bit of boxing, I think you're... Yeah, because sometimes you just can't grapple someone like, hey, we just got to throw hands. Let's go, right? So with my grandfather, it was like just a lot of the same stuff, like the same, like just his go outside, go do this, do that, whatever. So then I remember, this is like the time where like things really start getting really stupid and chaotic. Because my family found out that my mom was paying whoever had custody of me, I became a money grab for the family members. So I remember like my mom was like, hey, she had this really close friend that she made me stay with because she's like, hey, stuff with granddad's getting kind of crazy right now, so we're gonna send you there to stay for like, it was only for like, I think it was the weekend. It was just, it was. She's like, hey, I want you to go stay. But I called her my aunt, but again, close family friend. She had 2 sons. She could go play with them. I loved going there. We would play Pokemon together. It was so fun. So I remember being there once, and someone in the family found out. This, again, another thing I'm hiding in a closet. I just remember being there, and like I just hear banging on the door, like bang, 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 and then my aunt, she like runs and pushes. She's like, "Go hide! Like you need to go hide here! Like go in the closet, close the closet door." And it's like my cousin. I think her name was Monique. I'll drop names. I don't really speak to my family. But I think her name is Monique, and I just hear her like going, "Where's Shaq? But where's Shaquille?" And she's just losing her mind trying to find me because again, she just wanted custody. She did not care. She just wanted because she wanted money.
We're like a cash cow.
Cash cow. She did not give a shit about anything. It was just I just want him. I've never even met this woman. I don't even remember her. I don't.
What was
know
her plan though? She's gonna bust into your aunt's house.
And I have custody of Shaq now.
Grab you.
I don't even know.
Tell your mom, hey, I got Shaq now.
Maybe she's gonna spin some story. Say, oh, I walked in and like Shaq was. I don't know what she was gonna say. It was to me.
She was looking for you.
She was looking for me. It was. I just remember being hidden in the closet, like freaking out. I'm like, what the fuck? So that happens. I'm like, hey, this is fucking weird. But again, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like I'm just going back to playing Pokemon, whatever. So then I go back to my grandfather, and then my uncle steps in, and he's like, oh, I'll take care of Shaq. And I was like, okay, fine. So I go stay with him because he pretty much, from what I remember, I think he just said, oh, I can take better care of him because like I have a stable house, all that stuff. So I was like, okay, cool, right? So she trusts him because, again, it's her brother. She trusts him. I would preface this by saying I won't drop his name because, like, he might see this, whatever. But I don't relationship with him. I do not like this. He's one of the worst people I think I've ever met in my life.
Dude, your mom has poor judgment, man.
She does. She's gotten
leaving you with your dad, leaving with your granddad. You got this aunt chaos. I trust the uncle.
Yeah, I'd say she's gotten better now. She has not, but again, I love her, but she has not gotten better.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah. So I stay with him, and my uncle was the definition con man is my uncle. He is like, he is the con man.
What were some of the cons?
I don't remember specifically when I was younger, but like he would owe people money, and he would just like, I remember specifically there was one moment where like I was staying with him, and he had this car he was driving. It was not his car, but I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. The person whose car it was came for the car. So I remember we went out. He lived in an apartment complex. We went out the back exit. He parked. When he came home early that day, he parked the car in the back alley. So I'm like, why would you park it? It's really weird. So he knows the guy's coming. So we go at the back exit, go in the car, and we're in the car alley waiting with the car on. And when he sees a car pull up, he leaves. And I was like, the fuck? Like, what the fuck, right? Mm-hmm. So like he would take stuff from people without like paying them back. Oh, I'll pay you back. I'll do this. He would just always take stuff.
Right,
wouldn't give
him
back. Yeah, but then snaky. And then when he get older, he was a car salesman without a license. Right. Okay. He was a talker. He would talk, and would get you to believe.
Eventually,
anything.
that like catches up to you because there's only so much that shit you can do before people are like, dude, I've heard of you. I know you.
Yeah, and like that's why he moved because he couldn't say no.
Burned too many bridges.
Way too many bridges. Yeah. So he was doing some weird shit. Like he was just really odd, and then the biggest memory with him, which is not even it's not a good memory. So I said I don't really like him. So it was my 7th birthday? It was my 7th birthday. Digimon movie came out. Digimon was kind of just starting. It was really
Digimon
cool.
Digimon was pretty cool. Right? Not as cool as Pokemon.
Right. But it was still, I'm like, oh, that's cool, right?
Yeah, it was pretty
cool.
So
my mom's like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, hey, I want a scooter because I had cousins that lived like, for me, I was a kid. The walk was far as fuck. But I would go play with them. They lived kind of far. But I'll go play with them, and they all have scooters, and I didn't have a scooter. I'm like, hey, can I get a scooter? Right? I'm like, I also want to see the Digimon movie. She's like, okay, cool, because it came out on DVD, I think, at that point. She's like, okay, cool, I'll get it for you, right? So my mom ships it, whatever, and then a couple weeks later, I come home from playing outside, and like the box for the scooter's there. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy, right? So, and I get in, the box is open. I'm like, weird, but I'm like, I don't think anything. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I open it, get the scooter. I'm happy. My mom calls, or Jamie calls my mom, and my mom's like, oh, like, how did you like to go? I'm like, oh, I love it, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, is the money there? And I was like, what money? She's like, oh, the money that was in the box. I was like, there's no money in the box. She's like, put your uncle on the phone. And you can hear her going off, and he makes some excuse, oh, the money wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. She put like, I think she put $50 in there for him to buy the Digimon movie for me. Mm-hmm. I just want to preface, I am 33. I still have not seen that fucking movie.
Bro, you need to get that movie.
I know.
You need to close that loop.
Part of me now, I'm like, do I really want to at this point, right? But I'm like, I probably should.
I kind of want to see it.
Right? So just like, he would do stuff like that. He would take from everyone. Tough, he was just always like that. Just was really like snaky and that's just been him his whole life.
And your mom was still in the States at this point?
Still in the States at the point. And then I think after that, she was like, okay, cool. Like we're done with this, right? So then she's like, hey, we're leaving. So I remember like the school grade 3 year was starting, and my mom was like, hey, you're coming to Boston. So I remember like going to school, saying bye, because the school I went to was the same school I went to the last couple of years. So like I had all my friends, and like the way when we moved to grade 3 is almost like you moved up to like we're on the big kid side of the like school now, right? I remember just going to class and saying bye to all my friends, and then just like I'm out. Boston was actually not bad. Boston was good. I won't say there was nothing bad. We were only there for like a year, so there was nothing really crazy there. But we were there for a year.
How were things at home with mom? Like, was it a lot more stable? They were
stable. We obviously had a lot of issues. We would fight a lot. Just me and my mom. Well, she had roommates, but like it was in a house, but we lived upstairs. Okay. So like, it was like I guess it was a duplex. I forget. It was like you would go in, and like there was like almost like a foyer, and there was like a door to the left and the right. Then the left went to like probably the basement. Someone lived there, and then you go. The right door was us. We go up to the stairs. There was like the main floor there. So then she had 2 roommates that were there.
So it was like a bed sitting room almost.
Maybe because like you had that room and
just like sharing a house with people.
Yeah. So then so then you had like the main floor. There was like a living room that no one used. a dining room kitchen area that no one used, and there was like the kitchen where like we had like cupboards for certain people, whatever, and like the fridge and all that stuff. And then like their rooms were there. We would go left, go up the stairs again, almost like an attic, but it was like I guess no, it didn't go it was an attic, but it was like we had a room there, living room, bedroom, all that stuff there. So it was like it was fine. We had our spouts like normal like parents do. Really TMI, but I hit puberty really early. I hit it when I was 7. I was in the bathroom. 7. It was crazy. Like I was in the bathroom and the fun stuff came out when I was in the bathroom. And I was like, Mom, what the fuck's going on? Because I was like washing myself. And I was like, Mom, what the fuck is happening just right now?
Loads
bro, it was crazy. I was like, what the fuck is happening? It was nuts, right? And then like I got hair.
That must have been some like aggressive washing.
I guess I was. I think I had to
really
pee.
Trying to get clean.
I think I had to pee or whatever. I was already like at the state, and I was like, I'm just gonna clean one. And I was like, what the fuck?
Kind of feels good.
It was crazy. And then like I got stressed on my hair like when I was like around that age. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? It was strange. Like not stressed, not on my hair, but like I got like my balls dropped, I guess, whatever you want to say. But yeah, so I hit it early at
Mom,
7.
get the fuck in here.
Yeah, right. It was crazy.
That's
so like
crazy.
we had a lot of like just back and forth weird stuff. And I remember like obviously weird. Like my mom was old school, so it's abuse. She would hit me with like everything. I've been hit with a vacuum cleaner, a frying pan. There used to be like these old like closets, like it was made out of wood. It was a closet, like a cloak closet, but like looked like it was like vented. I forget how they were called. I see my mom punch one, break it, pull a piece out, and attack me with it. Like it just shit. I was like stunned. I was like, "What the fuck?" And so it was just like a lot of that.
That was quite common back then.
It was.
I got the wooden spoon, the belt.
Oh
man,
it got worse in Georgia. We'll get there. Yeah. So the year in Boston was honestly it was fine. Like, there was no issues.
You went to school.
Went to school there. Yeah, I went to school there.
Made friends easily there.
Made friends. It was.
I mean, it's grade 3.
It's grade 3, and like also you say you're from Canada, like oh Canada, and
you
like
have this a little bit. Yeah. You feel like you had a little bit of it, like a bit of special.
Yeah, because I was
attention.
from Canada. Because I'm from Canada.
Yeah,
right? So
you're like a little exotic. Yeah.
Right. So it was nice. I made good friends.
That's cool.
And it was honestly Boston. I don't think I have any negative memories.
Boston was chill.
It was chill. I will say near the end, I started getting. Again, I was a good student to a certain point, but then I kind of got annoyed. There was a point. I guess I could backtrack real quickly. So when I was in grade 1, they were doing like not standardized testing, but they would like say, oh, what grade level are your kid on, or whatever. So I tested at grade 3 level, grade 1. So the school was like, hey, you should put him in skip grade 2, put him in grade 3. My mom was really contemplating it, and then eventually she was like, no. And I think that part may have derailed some things. Like, it's hindsight now, right? But school was boring as fuck. And like, I know school always is boring, but like, it was more like I would know everything we were talking about. So I'm like, you're not teaching me anything. I'm like, I already know what we're talking about, right? So my brain was just like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah.
I found obviously it's from ADHD, but like that's whatever. But I was just like, this is boring. Like, you're not teaching me. So I was just always like, oh, I don't want to be here. So I started actually skipping school in grade 3 in Boston. Near the end, I remember there was one day, like, because I was responsible for getting myself to school. I would just walk into the bus stop or whatever. So I remember I left the house, and I was like, I'm just going to go right and just start walking. And I'm like, oh, I'll just walk for the whole time. My mom's out here, whatever. Again, not knowing, zero concept of time, obviously, right? So I'm like, yeah, whatever. So I'm just kind of going. And I remember, like, there was like you keep going to the right, there's like there's a forest, there's like just a wooded area there, right? So I'm walking, and like my mom's roommate leaves, and I see his car leave, and I don't think he knows it, but because I'm a kid and I'm not all the brightest, I think as bright as I think I am, I see his car and I start running. So he stops and looks like, is that Shaq? So he ends up like circling the neighborhood looking for him. I remember like I hid in someone's backyard, and he's like out front. He's like, he knows I'm there, so he's like honking, and someone's like, just come out. So he ends up saying, like, go home. What the hell are you doing, right? So my mom finds out, freaks the fuck out, obviously. So that was, like, the beginning of me, like, really just not going to school, which is crazy. Grade 3 is way too early for this shit. I was like, this shit
dropping
sucks.
out of grade 3.
I was like, I can't do it. It's too boring.
Well, I mean, puberty, you're smoking cigarettes at this
yeah,
point.
right. Just, what's going long day at work.
Trying to tell it, give me the keys. To the
right,
car.
exactly. I'm doing this now. I'm the man of the house
take out
now.
the trash. You go to grade 3.
It was crazy. So then we moved to Georgia, because my mom's best friend from Canada moved to Georgia. She had a life there. So I was like, hey, we're going to go to Georgia.
Okay.
Mom went off of her. I don't know if she had a job. I don't really know the details of that. But she's like, yeah, we're going to move to Georgia. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, again, I just went, what the fuck am I going to do, right? So we moved to Georgia for my grade 4 year. this is where things get off the rails. So going to school in grade 4, just in Georgia in general, we were never in the same place for longer than like 6 months. Okay. Like we were always moving, like constantly moving. The payments. My mom wasn't working all the time. My mom wasn't. She wasn't working. She was doing nursing, and they think I don't know what happened, but she just wasn't doing nursing anymore. And then she got into a certain field in an industry that is, she got into. She was a dancer, is what we call it. Bills still weren't getting paid that much. So there's nothing like coming home from school and all your stuff is on the front because you got evicted. So just stuff like that. That was normal. Right? I would come home and all my shit's just out there. I'm like, cool.
Were her friends helping around?
Kinda, sorta, not really. Like we stayed with. So I had 2 aunts. Like they were actual sisters, but like they were best friends with my mom. So
how did she go from nursing to dancing?
I guess there wasn't a need for nursing in Georgia. I don't know what happened. What? It was fucking weird. I don't know the full. Never really even asked her. I just don't know what happened. I guess you're
still so young.
Still so young. I was like, but I didn't think I did not know she was dancing. Leave
you home because like
it's late night.
At the night.
I was taking care of myself at home late at night when I was like, I think 5 even because even with my granddad, I was like, I'm taking care of myself. Like he would cook, but it wasn't every day, so I had to figure out how to do things right.
You
so
had
like,
to figure it out.
Yeah, so I haven't like
hit puberty.
Yeah, bro, just lived the life already, right?
You're paying taxes,
bro, for real.
Jesus Christ.
So then, so 4th grade, I remember going to school, and it was a lot of bullshit. School was just so much.
School is so difficult as well when you have so much shit going on at home.
And that's the thing, like teachers are more aware of it now.
100%.
But like back then they were not.
Yeah, zero tolerance or
zero, right? And like it was bad because like my teacher, I remember like I had this because we had you had home rooms, like you had the one class which was like your main class, and you would like go to different subjects, right? That's right. Yeah. So my homeroom teacher was this older white guy. And I remember he told my mom, he's like, hey, listen, kids at your son's age was like they drop out of school, they don't make it, they don't last. He was saying like your son is going to fail. Like it was like kids in the States, parents in the States do not. Teachers in the States, they did not give a fuck. They were blunt like that. The whole like even like a lot of rappers talk about it, but a lot of rappers they're not lying. The teachers like you're not going to be shit. Like they were blunt back then. Jesus. So teachers like, hey, your son's at the age now he's going to drop out of school, ball, all this stuff, just saying your son's a failure. And just because like I was not paying, I just could not pay attention. The stuff was boring. I was fighting. I was getting loud. I was just doing a lot. I was also like my friends because we're still only in 4th grade, so we're not doing like crazy, but we're still like out doing like fun being stupid boys at that point.
Running around.
Yeah, right. So grade 4 was just a lot of bullshit, and then my mom, we moved again, obviously for like the 3rd time that year. Still in the same area, but just kept moving, which is where we're in like the same housing unit. We just kept getting kicked out. I'm like, how do we keep getting accepted? But whatever.
Yeah, how does that work?
Because we lived with like first it was just us, then we moved in with my aunt, one of my aunts. We moved in with her in the same building area.
Side piece is what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah, another one of those. Yeah. So lived with her and her like son. I had a cousin, believe it or not, her son, same name as me. Crazy.
Shaq.
His name was Shaquille, but they spelled it with like a K.
Were you named after Shaquille O'Neal?
No. So I was born the year after he was drafted. So my mom's not huge in the sports. She didn't know who he was. She says she looked it up in a book. She liked the name. She liked the meaning.
Shaq's a cool name.
Yeah, what's the meaning? African warrior. So is what it means. So she loved it, right?
Pretty sick. I didn't know that.
So she was like, "Yeah, love it. I want it." Right. So, yeah. So lived with them for a bit. That was good. That was stable enough, just because there was 2 incomes in the house. It was a little bit better. They would get along fine. There was not really a lot of fighting. It was more just like me us being teenage boys, just not wanting to be there, kind of whatever. Sure. Both single moms, no male figure at all in our life. So when I left grade 4, went to grade 5, my mom was like, hey, this is not working, so we're going to move somewhere entirely. We moved to like a different county entirely.
What was not working?
I don't even know. I think they got into a huge fight. Yeah, she was doing it for a long time. She was still doing that. I don't know what happened.
She just needed to change, I guess.
Maybe.
That lifestyle too is tough.
Insane. Man. Like, but she was still doing it when we moved. The thing is, we didn't move far. We moved like up the street. But it was out of the area. But like I could still go walk and visit them, but it was still kind of far. Okay. And back then, like we walked everywhere. So like things could be like we would walk from like Millwoods Town Center to like South Common. Like we would walk crazy distances back then because we were like, yeah, whatever, we're gonna go hang out with our friends. But we we were living in this place, and I went to school, and this school was actually really good. I had like this, my homeroom teacher was like, an older black lady, and she was like not having any of this shit. She was like, nope, you're dealing, like, she was like, you're gonna deal with your shit here. Like, she was making sure I was not failing. She's like, we're gonna make sure we get you back on track, all this stuff. And she's the one that got me into like writing when I was younger, because like I used to like, I loved like writing stories and stuff when I was younger. I didn't know how to do it, and like I took English class, all that stuff, and I was like, yeah, whatever, I'll learn. And I just kept like, it was never like grammatically correct, but like I still loved doing it. So she got me into that to kind of touch on like a way to express myself in a good outlet. So she was like great, and then my grades went from like D's and F's to like A's and B's, because I was like paying attention in class again.
Somebody actually cared about you,
exactly,
and your wellness.
It was really, really nice
really
to have that, and like all the teachers there were like really on the same, like, hey, we're here to help the kids.
It's amazing how you can change someone's trajectory when you actually just start paying attention to them. And yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. So grades 5 was good-ish. It was like okay, no issues, but like again, we were kind of living. I think at this point we moved. By the end of grade 6, we moved like 3 or 4 times. There's still crazy things going on. Grade 7 is officially where like the bad shit comes out.
This is junior high, right?
This is junior high. This is me, almost 10 years old. Yeah. So I started hanging with the wrong people. Like I was trying to play sports. I was nerdy at one point. I was like hanging with my friends. We would play Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh was a huge thing. So at this point, loved Yu-Gi-Oh. I was winning like Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments and shit. I loved it. I was whooping people's asses. It was fun. I had I remember I had 2 decks. It was a machine deck and a zombie deck, and I was whooping people's ass with the zombie deck.
I used to have my friend George, who was one of the only black guys. I used to hang out with him. He used to steal Yu-Gi-Oh booster packs and shit for me. Yep. So I had like all the dopest cards.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, good old days, right?
Great.
So I was doing that, but then I started I guess I kind of it was like a tiny growth spurt, so I was a little bit taller, and I started hanging out with like different people in school, because we moved around a lot, so I didn't really have a solid friend. I still have one friend from Georgia that I still we are in touch a bit on social media. But like even him, he was nerdy, and then he's completely different now. But we kind of like grew apart, because like when I moved, it was kind of it. I would see him like every once.
At that age when you're changing so quickly,
it was just done. Yeah, like I think I would go visit him like once every couple of months or whatever, just go spend the night or the weekend or whatever. But so I hang with the wrong people then, and at this point, one of my good friends that I went to school with, I didn't know like his background. I went to stay at his house one day, and then his brother comes in. His brother's like flash, he has a bunch of money, all this stuff, right? And he's like, oh yeah, blah blah, if you guys want to be like, you ever want to make some actual money, blah. And at this point, I'm like, I'm broke, because like we're broke, right?
Yeah, sign
right?
me on.
Bro, I was like, sure, whatever, right? So like he didn't tell us what we were doing. We were drug mules essentially. We didn't know it. He was like, take this backpack, just go there, you're done, right? And I'll give you like $50-$60, you'll be fine. And $50-$60 for a kid at that age was like, holy fuck, I'm rich, right?
Cashing in.
Right? I was like I was spending on Yu-Gi-Oh and just dumb shit. I'm like, I'm so whatever, right?
You're a kid.
I'm like, I can go in the store and buy it myself, right?
Yeah.
So we started doing that around, I think it was 10. Yeah, I was 10. I started doing that at 10, so I was just running drugs a lot. More than, again, I didn't know what I was doing at the point, but then when I got curious one day, opened the bag, and I was like, oh, I was like, what the fuck is that, right? And I kind of like freaked out, but I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not getting caught, but it's like, I didn't really understand the law too much. Like, I'm not in trouble. I'm doing fine. I'm not doing anything wrong. So that lasted for about a year. And then I was like, you know what? I want to start doing what he does. Like, I'm going to do what you do. I'm like, you make more money than I do. I'm going to do what you do, right? Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, I can hook you up with someone, blah, blah, blah. So we meet his boss, and boss sits down with us. And again, I'm 11 years old. I'm a kid still.
Yeah.
They don't give a shit.
Of course not.
They don't give a fuck. They're like, oh, yeah, you want to do it? Cool. It's like, here's the rules.
Benefit,
blah, blah.
If anything.
Because they don't get
less
caught.
Consequences.
Right? It's crazy. The law down there for kids is definitely different than up here. It's very lenient up here. It's not lenient. It's not lenient at all down there. You get 3 strikes, you're done down there as a kid, no matter how old you are. So I got into selling. A lot of stuff my mom doesn't know, which is kind of funny, but whatever. So I got into selling at 11. And during that, I would go to school, and the people kind of knew. They didn't really say it out loud, but you kind of knew. Like, I would show up to school and like my clothes would be better because I went from school one year where like I just looked like a bum. They're like, oh, Shaq actually has money now, right? And then so we were kind of like say, hey, if you need something, let us know, sort of thing. And then like our names would be like written, our numbers would be written inside like the bathroom stalls and stuff. It was kind of funny. Like, oh, go here, not our numbers, like our address, like, go here if you need this, whatever. So was selling a bit in school, was not paying attention in school, and my grades started dropping again because I just wasn't I either wasn't going to school, I just didn't care enough. Got into it, was doing really well, was known a lot, especially like a lot of the older kids in high school, especially. I'm like, yeah, come go meet Shaq, whatever. So then one of my good friends, he's like, oh, I want to get into it, so I got him into it.
You're selling weed?
Yeah, it was mostly just weed.
Yeah.
You know, like I think we may have sold meth a couple of times. It was never like, so I didn't like the interactions a lot. I'm like, these feel weird. So I was like, yeah, I'm not doing
the
this
clientele
shit.
with weed, great.
Yeah,
you get people getting stoned, man.
Yeah,
chilling.
right.
I always like selling weed, man.
Yeah.
When I was selling coke, dude, that was the worst.
The interactions were weird.
People hitting you up at 3 a.m.
Yeah,
you got to
bro.
deal with like crackheads.
Man, I hated it because I was in a couple. I was in a couple, bro. Even worse because they don't.
Yeah,
give
of
a
course.
Fuck, bro. They're all
they
over the
slept
place.
3 days.
Exactly. But I was in a couple of coke deals that I got like brought into, and like, hey, like, yeah, go do this, blah blah, and like we'll give you a cut. Well, obviously the cuts were pretty big because it was like they were moving like a lot of
course.
So during that, we're like, okay, like let's just go in. So I was loving it for like long. I think I was doing it for 2.5 years. I got booked the first time just for having it in my bag. Cops just took me to jail, whatever, and then like kind of just they didn't send me home with my mom, which was, they just kind of just took me to jail and said, "Kid, go," and they kind of kicked me out. I was like, that's fucking weird. I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't know. And then second time I got caught, someone snitched because they're like, oh, hey, Shaq did this, blah blah blah. Shaq sold me. I think there was a kid that wanted to sell. He wanted to buy something for less. Typical thing. I was like, nope, this is the price. Like, oh, I only got this. I'm like, you ain't getting it.
So you ratted on you?
Right on me. Typical like common thing, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I got kicked out of school. At that point, obviously, like, yeah, you can't come back. So kicked out of school and then arrested. And then I think I was there for 2-3 days. My mom had no idea where I was.
I was about to say, what's your mom thinking about all this shit?
No, because I didn't know her number, so I couldn't contact her. They like looked me up, like, okay, well, your mom's information is this, but her number changed at that point, so she didn't really have a number. They didn't like our house. We didn't have a house phone at that point because we were never home, and two, like we were moving around so much it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So like address wasn't valid. They just had no way of finding out my mom's information. So was there for 3 days. That was interesting, being in like jail and holding stuff for 3 days. It was like I think it was 12 at this time. It was
like, a long time,
right? Really weird. Got released and then was like went home like, hey mom, so where's Booker? I'm like, oh, this is my friend. Okay.
Wait. So they just released you?
My friend's mom picked me up.
Okay.
She came in because I called their house and she's like, who the fuck is this? Because it's private. She's like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, oh, it's Shaq. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh,
the whole release.
I was like, hey, I've been here for a day. Can you come get me?
What'd your mom say?
I just said I was at a friend's house. She's like, for that long? I'm like, yeah, it's fine. Because it was like a Thursday night and there was I think there was school, but she didn't care. Thursday night, through the weekend, I came home on like Monday morning. She's like, oh, whatever. So get home, she's like, what the fuck? But I'm like, yeah. She's like, okay, whatever. So get home, mad as fuck, obviously. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go, I want to fuck this kid up. So then I started becoming a dealer and an enforcer for this group I was with. So like they would, hey, someone needs to get hurt. It's like, hey, we're gonna call Shaq. Shaq, go fuck this person up. All right, cool, whatever. Just pay me this. Cool. So I was doing lots of physical damage to people, is what we'll say. I got to one where I just loved fighting. So I'm like, yeah, I'll go do it. I don't really give a shit, right? So that's where like the lack of discipline came in, because I was like, I'll use my boxing and my hand-to-hand combat to like really hurt people.
Yeah.
So I was doing a lot of that between 12, and then there was a point where as I was thinking like, this is not for me. One of the biggest things, or no, it was probably the biggest. This all kind of happened in a year span, which is like insane. It went from like me living in Georgia to me moving to here, essentially. So we were still dealing. I was thinking, you know, my good friend that was with me, and that the guy got into it. His name was Eli. Rest in peace. He decided to think he was smarter than the dealers. So he would start like skimming some money up top. I didn't know about it. I had no idea what was going on. So obviously people who do drugs, they track every penny, literally all of it. So he was getting away with it for a bit. He was like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. He's like kind of getting away with it being fine. And then I think there was one day where he took a lot more than he should have. So then I remember like we're outside chilling with some friends, and then like, hey, by the way, car pulls up, get the fuck in. We're like, all right, we get in, we get driven to a trap house in the middle of fucking nowhere. We're in there chilling, like we go in, we think it's just like, oh, we're just updating us on something. We're like, okay, whatever, we're chilling. They have no like inclination like this is some serious shit. So, get dropped off. People coming in and out. We're chilling, whatever, and then people are like, hey, okay, everyone shut up. Big man walks in. And I will not say his name because I'm not trying to get fucked up. He walks in and he's like, hey, man, like, I got to talk to y'all real quick. We're like, okay, whatever, right? So he's like, sits us in this, come to this couch, go to this like living space. We sit down. He's like, there's a couch here, couch there. And like, he's sitting on like chair by himself right there. And then like, there's like 3 guys here and then a guy here. And there's a guy behind me that I didn't know. Like the guy, like I looked and saw him, but he kind of was like, just kind of saying there. But the guy behind us on the couch. So he's chatting, he's like, yeah, so like, he goes, just, where's my money? I'm like, fuck you, I don't fucking know, right? My friend's like, oh, what are you talking about? I was like, oh, like, I'm missing, I think at the point he said, I'm missing like $1,300. I'm like, okay, and back then, this was 20 years ago, a lot of fucking money. I mean, it's even a lot of money now, but like, a lot more money back then. He's like, I'm missing this much money. I'm like, bro, I haven't sold for me, I don't know, like, that's not me, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, I sent an order with the 2 of you. I got the money back. I only got this one back. I'm like, I put my money in the bag secure. I'm like, I know our process. I know I did my part. And then this is dawning on me. I'm like, hey, in my head, I'm like, he's stealing money. Like, I knew it. I'm like, fuck, right? So I'm like, how the hell are we getting it? I'm like, I know this guy across. I'm like, I know he kills people. I've seen it. So it goes from like just us going back and forth to like all of a sudden like I get grabbed, like I'm behind me, my friend gets grabbed by another guy, and like they're choking us out and they start beating like the piss out of both of us. Where's our money, blah, blah, blah. And like I'm like, I don't know. And this is going on for what feels like forever. And I'm like, fuck, what's happening? What's going on here? So then eventually like we get put on, like we're on our knees, we get moved to like a room, just bare ass room. There's like a fucking tarp on the floor. And I'm like,
you don't ever want to be in that room.
No, I was like, fuck, right? So we're in the room, we get sat down, and like both of us are like on our knees. I'm like,
shitting bricks, man.
Yeah, I was fucking like, I'm like, wow, this is how it's, I'm like, this is how I'm gonna die. I'm like, holy fuck. And my friend's like crying. He's a fucking mess, right?
He's not.
No. So then they come in they go to the side, there's a chair, the guy sits down literally right next to us, and there's a dude in the back, and you hear the right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? So then he goes, he goes to me, he's like, I know you're fine. Like, he's like, I know you did not do it. He's like, I've known you I've known you a long time, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I know your mom. And I'm just like, weird, but like, whatever. He's like, I know your mom. He's like, I know it's not you. You've been loyal, blah, 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 this whole time. He's like, I tracked it. He pretty much admitted like he was suspicious from the get-go. So he was just kind of like keeping an eye on my friend.
Yeah.
And my friend's like, what? He's like, oh, I swear I didn't do it. And then like eventually like kind of starts admitting to it. He's like, oh, because he's like, I'm gonna die if I don't. So he starts admitting to it. I can laugh about it now because it's like it's traumatizing. I'm like, holy fuck. It's more of like a nervous laugh. But I just again, I heard the clock earlier and I'm like, what the fuck? And then you just like, we're again, like he's here with me. We're on our knees, just sitting there looking at the tarp. And I just like see the guys in front of us, they pull the tarp closer, and I'm like, oh fuck. Well, I'm like, oh shit. Like he's like, so this guy, I'm like, am I gonna die here? He was talking to me, he's like, you're fine, blah, blah, blah. And he's like talking to me the whole time. While he's talking to me, I see him like look to his corner, like look to the corner of his eye, my bad. And he like kind of nods, and then you just hear like, and then just bang, and like my friend hits the ground. Like, holy just shit. Again, my friend he's 13. He's like, you're older than me. 13-year-old kid. Boom, down, blood splatter. It was like, it was bad. Like his blood was like here on my face, and I was like, what the fuck, right? And like I jumped, I'm like, oh, he's like, don't move, don't make a noise. I'm like, and I'm like, so, what the fuck do I do, right? And I'm like, holy shit, my friend is just
executed a 13-year-old for $1,200.
They didn't give a fuck.
That's
principal,
crazy,
right? So After that, I'm like sitting there like, what the fuck? I was in that room for 2 fucking days.
They just kept you there?
Left me there. Did like
by yourself?
As a lesson. He knew I didn't, so it was like going for like, not to fuck with me. So I was in this room with my friend, mind you.
You were just there.
There, just sitting there, like,
you couldn't
what
leave
the fuck?
or what?
Couldn't leave there because they were outside. They were in like the house still, like sitting there. They're like, if you leave, someone's gonna fuck you up. And I'm like,
so you were you had to sit there?
Sit there.
Even though he
like,
was like, dude, I know you had nothing to do with
he was like, I want this to be a lesson to you. So when you leave here, you tell everyone, do not fuck with me, right? He was, yeah, crazy. So after that, like, that was like, yeah,
how do you
done.
recover from
I was
that?
like, I'm fucking, I was like, I'm done. I was like, nope. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like, I'm fucking done. So what made that worse, which like this, I fucking hate this part, is like when I get home, his mom comes to my door. She's like, hey, like, where's Eli? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't seen him. Like, I can't tell her. I'm like, I haven't seen him. I don't know. And like, I'm fucked. Like, I'm a mess. Like, I cannot. I'm man. Just like, I don't know.
Got shot next to you.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't. I
can't believe that happened,
bro. I was.
That sounds like something out of a movie.
It was so like, when it happened, I was like, what the fuck? Because like, the sound. We grew up with gunshots. So like, I knew what they sound like. We would play a game. Like, is it gunshots? Or like, we used to take like sticks, like bang them against like the fences. Like, it would sound like a gunshot. Like, is it gunshots or is it fence? Right. And like, so we grew up, there was a SWAT van where we used to live where like the SWAT van stayed in the fucking, like, it stayed parked. It was just there all the time because there was always gunfire somewhere. So like, we lived in a not so great neighborhood. So like, gunfire and gunshots they weren't new to me. I knew it. Like, I had a gun, I shot, I've been shot at
right
before.
Next to your ear.
Right. So when I was like, what the fuck? So like, I was so like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I was so stunned and like, just, I've heard guns drop. I'm like, that was different. Like, dude, this is like
sympathetic
next to me.
Nervous system must have been.
Yeah,
like,
I was like, I threw up so many. I couldn't even fucking tell. I threw up so many fucking times there, man. It was just bad. And like, then the smell of a dead body is just not something you want.
That was your buddy too, man.
I knew him for at least 4 years. Like, he was a close friend of mine. Like, I loved him. Our moms with each other. Like, it was rough. So when she comes to my door looking for him, I'm like, I don't know where he is. I'm sorry. Like, I couldn't tell you. And she's like, oh, you were with him last. I'm like, I'm sorry. I do not know where he is. And she leaves. She's like, oh, I'll go find him, blah, blah, blah. And I think, I want to say like a week or two later, his body gets shown. They find his body rolled up somewhere in the woods, whatever.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was fucked up. So
did you get questioned?
I did, because it was the last one. People saw us leave school grounds together. So like, they're like, oh, you're last person to see him alive. So what's going on? So I got questioned, but I was like, I don't know anything, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I had nothing to do with it. Like, I couldn't, like, they knew I was in Justin, so they kind of like were like, are you sure? Like, they weren't super like, we believe you. It was like, like, can you explain like what you're doing this day? Well, I was like, hey, we did this. I'm like, I went to go play basketball. I went here, I went there. And at this point, like, we had people almost like create a false like story for me. Like the dude had everything planned out almost. It was really fucked up. But he's like, yep, I'll have these people vouch for you. You were here doing this. You're fine. So I was like, yeah, I was here playing basketball with these friends, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're going to find out. And so they vouched for him. He's like, okay, well, whatever, you're fine. I don't think they found out who did it. I think some people got charged, like a group of people got charged, but I don't know if they found the individual shooter. But his funeral was not fun to go to. But then, yeah, it was rough. So
that's such an insane moment. Like, I don't even know what to say. Being 12 was like probably the hardest year of my life, because after that happened, I was like, I need to get out. So like, I arranged like, hey, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. And obviously at first they're like, no, you can't do that. You're not allowed to do that. But then eventually I was like, hey man, like, I found out my mom was pregnant. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to be a big brother, man. Like, my mom needs help at home. I can't do this anymore. It took a lot of getting my ass kicked, a lot of begging, and like, just, there was a lot of harm, like a lot of physical arguments and just fight. It was just a lot. Eventually I was like, okay, I'm done. So I started hanging out with my nerdy friend again, because he lived like in the same area with me. So I started hanging out with him again. And at this point, I'm like, okay, things are good. The living situation was still really rough. At this point, my mom was dating this guy. I got to also add that the men my mom chose to live with during this time also was
were not great. She got abused by the first one that we were like the main one. I guess not the main one. My mom, she had two guys that I remember that we lived with. One, he was, I know my story's all over the place, my bad, but like, so he was a piece of shit. He was abusive, like physically, he would abuse the shit out of her. And I remember one day, because he knew my like past, he like kind of knew like I was an aggressive and angry, like to fight. Mm-hmm. So he's like, he took me to like his, I guess, cousin's house or whatever, someone's house one day, and like they had a bunch, like they had like 4 or 5 kids there. And like this one kid, Caleb, was a bigger kid than me. He was like 3 or 4 years older than me. And like I was like trying to be good, so I had like a DS man I was playing Pokemon, right? And classic. He's like, you think you're tough, blah blah. You think you can fight little kids? That doesn't work here. And like again, I'm just playing, mind my business. All of a sudden, Caleb grabs me from like starts choking me from his command. They tell him, shit's tough over here, blah blah. Just start trying to prove a point for whatever. I'm like, whatever, right? So he's choking me out, and like, I'm like backing into a wall and like drop my DS, my shit like flies out. Just all my progress is gone, which pissed me off more than anything, really. That's the so like killer. Ends up being this big ass thing. So like I push this guy into the wall and I'm freaking out, like I'm fucking punching him. I'm mad, and I couldn't get because he was just a bigger kid and he was choking me, right? So that's how that relationship started. And like they were together for a very long time. He was a very abusive dude. And then I remember like one of the things that he did, which is like, this is a common thing, by the way, for even for the Southern community. I think it's even just community in general, like colored community. So have you heard of a switch, like a stick? So, I think so. Our punishments back then was, so we lived in the house. We had like a backyard, we had trees and all that stuff. I would have to, if I got in trouble, I had to go outside to like a tree or a bush, find a stick I was gonna get my ass whooped with. So it was like, they would call it getting a switch. I would
take it forever. I'm like, well, I gotta find the best one.
If you took too long, you get your ass whooped. So like you gotta do it quickly. Yeah, you gotta do it quickly, and like you have to make sure you got the right one. You took a small one; those ones can cut you. God, so like you get fucked up, and like they hurt, and they can swing them faster and fuck you up.
That's twisted,
right?
Man.
It's a mental fuck. It fucks you, but that's a normal thing down there. Like, or just in job. I have friends up here that I talk to them, like, oh yeah, we should do that. I think it's fucked up. Right?
That's crazy.
So he did that a lot. Like I had to go outside and grab shit and get like pretty much the weapon of your mass destruction I had to go pick, right? You can't get too big, that's gonna fucking hurt. Like it was fucked up. So
this was your mom's boyfriend?
My mom's boyfriend at the time.
Dude,
so
you just said you love your mom.
I do.
It would be very tough for me.
It took us a lot.
She put you through a lot of shit.
It took us a lot of therapy. Decisions. There was one. Okay, the worst of it I'm about to get to actually. So
that's not the worst. This is everything you described isn't the worst of it.
No. So he was abusive, and he also was a gun owner. So like there was a day I remember at night where like they were getting into it because she was still dancing at this time. So they were getting into it. And he pulls the gun out, and I see it like it's a fucking. I see the revolver, silver. I still remember in my. It's a silver revolver. I see it. He has it in his hand. Like my door's open for whatever fucking reason. Oh, they took my door. That's why. So I can see through. So like, he has a revolver in his hand, and he's like threatening. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna kill everyone in his house. I'm like, bro, what the fuck, right? I'm like, what? So he was that level, and I've seen him put the barrel to like her head. Like he's done crazy shit, right? And there was one day where like he was fighting her, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. So I like attacked him, hurt him because I caught him off guard, I will say. But because again, I'm a kid, I know I'm tough. That's a grown ass man, right? I'm not stupid. So like I hurt him, but I caught him off guard. And like when he kind of got back up, he was like pissed. So he obviously hurt me, hurt her, whatever. So she left him, and then she met my sister's dad, and he was fine for a bit. Do you know Young Jeezy? He's not Young Jeezy,
the rapper?
Yeah, the rapper. He looks just like him. Like he's a mirror, same build, same bald, like mirror image of Young Jeezy, right? So like, but again, he's like 6. I think he was probably like 6'2", probably like 250. Like he's a big dude, right?
Guy.
Big, bulky dude. So he was very abusive, and my mom he was good at first, like I said, and then all of a sudden just kind of deteriorated and turned into this shit show. And then there was. When we were with him, there was getting just a lot of abuse every now and then. I remember like he was hurting my mom one day, and it, like threw a fucking pan at him, and he like chased. It was just, it was a lot. So the worst of it was after a while, like they were together. I found out he used to have like a PSP that I really wanted to play, but he wouldn't share because he didn't like me, so he didn't share. So then he would drop my mom off. I would sneak into the room, grab the PSP, play it, and then bring it back or whatever. So one day I did that. Like they go, so I sneak in the room, grab it, start playing. This is me trying to like, get out of the super life. So I'm like trying to stay home and just stay home, right? So he comes home a little earlier, so I'm kind of like freaking out, so like I hide it. So he comes in, and like the way that their door broke, because they got into a big ass fight, so like he would have to like physically move their door onto like the like in the place to like have it there or whatever. Like, it would always like kind of like lean. So he came in. He usually would come home from Popeyes, give me like Popeyes and say, eat that and fuck off sort of thing, and then like kind of go. So he would go, he came in, he gave me food, and he went into the room, adjusted the door, I heard some noise or whatever, he closed the door, came out, and he left. I was like, so I'm like, okay, cool, he's gone, I'm gonna go sneak back in. I sneak in, there is a whole ass woman in this fucking, and she snuck through the fucking window. Whole ass woman. I was like, oh shit. I was like, and I kind of like, I forget what I said. I was like, what the fuck? So I kind of like slowly backed out and like put the door back, right? And then he comes in. No, she was awake. We made eye contact. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, she was like, I was like, what the fuck? I think there was words. Again, I forget. There was probably words that I think I was like, oh, I'll try to like find. I think I was like finding something, whatever, right? So I remember he comes back. He goes in, he's like, did you touch the door? I'm like, yeah, I was trying to. He's like, what'd you touch? I'm like, I was trying to find something, blah, blah, blah. He said, what the fuck? So, like, he was pissed. So, he knew because he knew I fucking knew, right? He didn't say anything that night. So, then it might have been a couple weeks later, I forget. It was just sometime.
What were you, like, in your head, were you like, dude, this guy's cheating on my mom?
Yeah,
Should I tell my mom?
I was, but I didn't, because I'm like, you know, I was kind of like, one, she wouldn't believe me. I'm like, we didn't really have a great relationship. Is my mom gonna believe me?
You just want to stay out of it.
I was like, I'm just gonna.
And
I'm
this
not
guy's
here.
a hothead.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just gonna stay out of it. I'm not here for that shit. So like, I stayed quiet for a while.
And was he nicer to you, or is he just like
he
knows not to fuck around?
He kind of almost like became worse. He was like, I don't fucking like you at all. Like he's like, no, he's like, fuck you. I don't. Yeah. He barely even. He wouldn't give me. There was sometimes I wouldn't. He wouldn't bring food home on purpose. Like he just wouldn't. So. There was one day where I'll be honest as well. I would take money from my mom's purse every now and then when I was younger, just because like I don't say every kid, a lot of kids did it. Would take money from your purse. Like you would take something and like when someone's looking for it, you would hide it in a place you know you would find it. So, oh yeah, it's here, it's right here, right? So I remember I was at my friend's house, like the nerdy friend. I play with him. So I'm at his house and my mom like calls his mom saying, "Shaq needs to come home right now." So I'm like, okay, whatever, blah blah. She's like, "Where's my wallet?" I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. I really didn't know. I'm like, I have no idea. She's like, well, it was in my purse, not there anymore. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have it. I didn't do anything with it. But she's like, well, help me find it. I know it's here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm searching. I searched the couch, and I'm like, oh, look, wallet's right here, right? She's like, well, I searched and it wasn't there. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I know this looks fucking bad. I'm like, I found it there. I did not take it. I didn't know. She's like, whatever. I was like, where's the money? I'm like, what money? What are you talking about? She's like, oh, I had money in there. There's no money in there, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't have it, but she's like, no, you definitely had it because I checked it because it wasn't there. So, this is one of the harder parts to which, like, when I got the Youth Rise Award, I said this story, which is what kind of made my mom she wasn't happy. Well, she was just upset reliving that. She let her boyfriend beat me for 4 or 5 hours straight. Like, he was hurting me. Where, like, if I tried to fight back, it just was making it worse. And, like, he was punching me. It was bad. Because they get the truth out of me. So after a while, like it's been going on for like there's blood vessels in my eyes are probably like my face, I shit you not, is like this big. It's swollen. I can't eat. Like I'm in fucking pain. We get to near like the end of the torture where he starts running the fucking bathtub. Like he's probably gonna like try to drown me. Like just starts running the bathtub. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like freaking out. I don't have the money. My mom goes outside for a smoke. She's like, I'm just done. As she goes up for a smoke, his phone rings. So he gets a call. It's his other girl. And he's like vocal about, oh yeah, like, oh, I'll be done here shortly, blah, blah, blah. He admits to taking the fucking money on the phone when I can still hear him and tells her, yeah, the money I gave you, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll be there shortly. We'll be done here soon. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, this man is beating my ass for money that he stole. So I'm like, what the fuck? So then my mom comes out. I'm like, Mom, like, I'm crying. Like, I'm like pleading. I'm like, Mom, like, I do not have your money. Please stop this. Like, please, 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 please. And I think it finally like hit her like, hey, my son's probably fucking innocent, right? So she like stops it, like tells him whatever. And then when he leaves, I'm like, hey, Mom, like, he's cheating on you, and like that he gave the money to her, right? And at first she didn't believe him. I'm like, no. I'm like, I walked in and saw them all, like all this stuff. And I just like finally tell her. And again, my face is like, she realizes what she's done. I think that's when she was like, what the fuck am I doing? At this point, I think she realized, I think she knew she was pregnant as well. So she's like just a mess. She's like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? So I remember like, I obviously couldn't leave the fucking house because my face is fucking the size of a watermelon. So then my friend, the guy I was playing with, I call him Tim. Tim comes up and he like comes to the house, knocks on the door. And my mom's at home. I'm just home by myself. And like I opened the door. He's like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Dude, what happened?" I just fell down the stairs. Whatever. He's like, "You don't have stairs." I'm like, "Oh, the stairs," because we were in like a townhouse. Like we were downstairs. People, there was like a outside. I think it was like a townhouse, I guess. Yeah, but you can go upstairs to a different house, or whatever. So we're downstairs on the main floor. I was like the first floor, or whatever. So I was like, "Oh no, I was upstairs talking to someone and I fell down and said blah blah blah." He's like, "Oh," you can tell. He's like, "That doesn't sound believable." He's like, "Oh, whatever. You gonna complain?" I'm like, "No, I can't today. Whatever." And then my mom comes home later that day, and I think at this point she's she's past the point of the birth. I don't know how far along she was pregnancy was, but I don't know. I don't think abortions were as popular or common back then as they were now. But she tried to self-abort my sister. So I remember watching her lean on the vacuum cleaner and like push and push and push, and like she forced herself essentially to have a lot of bad pain, so she was going to the hospital. So she's in the hospital and I'm stuck at home with the guy that just fucking whooped my ass. So my mom was like, no, we can't have that. So she like gets her friend to come pick me up. I sit with them for a bit and then I go to the hospital to visit her.
Did you ever think about like running away?
I did when I was older. Back then I was like, because I didn't really know.
I would have been like, dude, I'm out.
Yeah, there was. I considered I would go to friends' house. I'm like, I'm just not going. Even when I was selling, I was like, bro, I could probably just go pay someone. I'm like, I could probably pay. I did consider, because I'm like, I could pay an adult to rent a space for me. Like, I just live here, but I feel like I was too, as much as like my mom was hooking me up, I still was my mom. So I was like, oh, I still love her. Like, still probably was kind of like, what the fuck?
Like, where do you find that love? Because when I think back to my life, I'm just hearing your story, and my mother was the same in a lot of ways, where I was put in situations I should have never been put in, which led to a lot of abuse.
Yep.
And it sounds like a lot of that happened to you as well, whereas like, you know, you're sent to live with your dad, you're abused there, you're with your grandfather, you're abused there, you're with your uncle, now you're with your aunts, and even with when you're with your mom, I mean, the abuse is like tenfold. Like, where's the love coming from? What part of you is still like, oh, you know what, I still want to be around this woman? Like, are you not connecting the dots there?
I know I did older when I got older. When we moved up here is when like I started saying like I don't want to be in, like I don't want her to be in my life anymore.
Yeah.
It took me getting older and like looking back on things, because like I will say when I was selling, I kind of just pushed it out of my mind. I was like, yeah, whatever, like home life sucks, but like I'm making money, so I don't really care. And I would just take out my anger on other people. So I think that's why I had an outlet, which was not a good outlet, but I had an outlet, right? So I think that's mostly why. Yeah, and I think when I turned 18, it was officially was like, we're done. Like, this is not, I can't. It took us a lot. Even now, like we talk, but like we can't be in conversations for long. And like this is also gonna sound crazy. I'm gonna sound like a dickhead saying this, but like I'm very much against hitting women. Very much against it. When I was early dating my wife now, but I was early dating her, my mom and I got into 2 fist fights. Like, because it was just like, I think it was like all the years of pent up, like just anger. And she said something that pissed me off and she hit me. And then there was one day she hit me, which like I just pushed her and she kind of swung. I was like, okay, well, you hit me twice. I'm like, whatever. I didn't obviously hurt my mom. I was like trying to hurt her. And then the second time she spit in my face, which was like, okay, well, and I'm like, well, that's assault. Like, I'm an adult. You're not, you spit in my face. I'm like, that's assault. I'm mad. I didn't think. I did not think rationally.
Blacked out, man.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I was gone. Which I feel I know what it is. I'm like, I'm never gonna sit there and say, oh, I'm perfect. I fucked up, but I have never in my life put my hands on, like, my wife knows I don't do that shit.
Listen,
yeah.
There was, I was in a scenario too. Not to bring it back to me.
No, you're good.
But I was also in a scenario too, man, where I put hands on my mom, man, and it was like one of those things where it was just years and years of just fucking built up bullshit, man, where I just got so angry and my animal brain took over.
Yep, 100%.
And again, it's not saying it's the right thing to do, but I think that, you know, based on what you've told me, man, I could see that happening.
Yeah.
I could see that happening for sure.
And it's crazy because my wife, she didn't think, because she knew a bit of like our relationship, but she like didn't know like how bad things were. And then when she like saw that, she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then she's like, what is happening? And so she like tried her best to get me out of the situation. And she just said like, you and your mom just probably shouldn't really talk much, which we kind of really don't. We do more now, but that's again, get to that later. But yeah, it took a while. Like I think when I moved up here finally, when I was, I think 16, when I started being like, is this really who I want to be around? That's when I started like, I was be gone for weeks and months at a time. Like I would just leave.
Was that, so yeah, it was just around the time after that, like severe beating.
Yeah.
Like where did you go from there?
Yeah. So that was rough. So like after the beating and stuff, my mom was in the hospital. She was in the hospital for months. They just kept her there because one, they just didn't trust like process. Like she was having issues. She had I think she had cervical cancer at the time too, because my grandfather also like had a bunch of cancer. So like they're like, hey, we're gonna keep you here to keep an eye on you, sort of thing. So I remember like I would spend the night with her. I'd be at the hospital with her, and eventually like, hey, like you're a kid. Like it was a summertime, so it was like fine. But like, hey, but like what the fuck are you doing, right? So I took a liking to her doctor. Like him and I were chill. He would talk a lot. His last name was Alka-Seltzer, which is really crazy. I'm like, isn't that like a fucking
his last name?
Yeah, I was like, that's yeah. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I think it might have been Alka, but it sounded like Alka-Seltzer. I'm like, it's just Alka-Seltzer. It was something. I'm like, okay, whatever. So he was like, old white dude. He's like, yeah, you're cool. He's like, oh, you should come to my church. I can meet you, introduce you to a family that you'll like. Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, right? So I'm like, hey, at least it gets me out of the house with like where he is. I'm like, I know I can be somewhere else. And I'm like, I trusted this guy. He's really cool. So go to his church, and his church is really cool. And down there, churches are like they're fucking huge down there. They take it way too serious down there, but whatever. Introduced me to this family, this black family. I'm like, cool. Like, cool. They have they have 4 kids total. But sorry, the husband has 4 kids total, but he has 2 from like a previous marriage, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they have 2 younger kids with them. Mm-hmm. So like, oh yeah, come stay with us. The 2 daughters that he had before, they come and go. I think he gets them on the weekends, every other weekend or whatever. But like, oh yeah, we'd love to have you here, blah blah blah. Like, come stay with us, all this stuff.
Were you telling them what was going on at home? Like, why did they say come stay with us?
I think my doctor was talking to them beforehand. Was like, hey, like,
so he kind of set you up with this family.
Yeah, because he was like, hey, like, this kid can't be here. Like, he can't be at the hospital. We know his living situation's really bad. We need someplace for him to go. Like, the church will sponsor you, support you, whatever. You take them on. So like, yeah, cool. And like, things were actually good. When I went there, they were really good.
And you were like open to that. You're like,
I was like,
you wanted to get away from this.
Yeah, right. And like at the point, like when I went to go, I remember the date. It was in 2003. I remember it perfectly because like this was the year, not 2006. Sorry, I remember it perfectly because I was still like into basketball. But I was like trying to start to learning again, like picking up again. And I remember like the first night I stayed at their house, they brought me to their house. Their house was fucking huge. And like on the TV was the NBA Finals, and it was Miami against Dallas, and like I was a huge Dwayne Wade fan, so I was like, oh my god, this is freaking amazing, right? So I got to watch him win a championship with them. I'm like, oh, this is cool ball. We're happy. Like, I was so right. I was so like, this is dope. I love this, right? And then they knew I loved basketball, so then like the father like was helping me like practice like daily to kind of get like take it seriously, like stuff, whatever. So I was happy. I was living in. Right, but like I was rusty a bit, but I still like I was getting better. So anyway, so things were going good for a couple months. I was part of the family. I was eating dinner with them. Like it was like I felt like I was part of the family. It was really good. Took me to my mom, whenever. So school time comes around. So they're like, okay, we got to register for school. There's this brand new school that got built. Hey, you'll be one of the first kids there. But I'm like, cool. So I like, basically like stayed with them. My mom had to sign off on paperwork, whatever. So staying with them, going to church twice a week. It was like Sundays and like youth night or whatever. And I thought things were good. I even got like baptized. I'm like, this. Maybe I'm like, okay, maybe things are getting better. Like this is the road for me, whatever. And then one night happened. My my mom's doctor he wanted help moving. He's like, oh yeah, come help me move. I'm like, cool. He's like, I'll pay you. I'm like, cool, right, because him and his wife got divorced, whatever. So he's like an older guy, so like he's kind of like unkept, like his shit is everywhere. Like he's just busy all the time. He's the doctor, right? So, I help him. I'm literally there all day, helping him all day move, blah blah blah. And like, again, he's a cool dude. Like I didn't mind. Yeah, it's fun, whatever, right? So help him with all this stuff. Get home, obviously I'm exhausted, right? He pays me like $150. So like I'm like, oh, I'm fucking living mom. I knew it wasn't a lot. I'm like, oh, I have money because I haven't had money for months, almost a year at this point, right? So I have nothing. So I'm like, oh, cool, whatever, right? So I get home again after moving all day, and like the dad, his name is Ahmed. He meets me at the door, and he's like straight face, blah blah blah. He's like, oh, how was your day? I'm like, oh, it was fine. He's like, oh, did you get paid? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, give me the money. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, give me the money. I'm like, no, it's money. He's like, oh, I'll keep it safe for you. I'm like, sure, whatever, right? So how their house was, as you open the front door, my room was like the bonus room. It was like to the right. There was no door. I never had a door, but it was like just big as open space. I was there. I slept on a futon, I believe. I come in. My room is empty, and I mean like it's just an empty room. There's nothing in it. Zero, like not a bed. There's nothing. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on, right? They're like, oh, we went to go talk to your mom today. And I was like, okay, like, oh yeah, we asked her some questions and you've been lying to us. I'm like, what are you talking about, right? They're like, because they went to go visit my mom. My mom was on morphine, so she was high as fuck. As they're questioning her, they're asking about like, oh, did you play basketball? I asked my mom if I played basketball for her because they're like, oh, he said he did, and my mom was like, no, he didn't. Which again, she's fucking high, so she doesn't really know it. And I forget they asked her a bunch of other stuff, and like they find out apparently I was lying. I'm like, you asked my mom who was fucking high. Like, what are we talking about, right? So they took everything she said as a fact. So he was like, you're going to earn everything back, right? This is, mind you, this is a Christian family. They're in the church. They put this all facade on. We love God. Like, everyone loves him in the church. It's a great family. I'm like, okay. He's like, you're going to vacuum your floor, but vacuum the floor, wash the walls.
Because you were lying about basketball?
I think it was basketball, and there's other things. He's like, oh, if you're lying, what else are you lying about? And I'm like, what? So like, they just took me lying, saying, oh, nothing I ever told them was truthful. And like, we're gonna punish you for it because we don't tolerate lying in this house. I'm like, what? Okay, craziness, just absurd. So I'm moving shit all day. So I'm coming again. I'm exhausted. And he's like, you're gonna vacuum your floor. You gotta wash your walls, all this stuff. I'm like, oh, what? He's like, wash your walls, blah blah blah. Because like there was like grease on the wall, whatever. I'm like, I'm touching stuff, whatever. It's a fucking wall. So I wash the walls and I'm vacuuming. And apparently I didn't vacuum the proper way because there's a proper way to vacuum. We could like go this way, then that way, this way, this way. See the lines and stuff? This man goes outside, grabs some fucking dried up leaves, comes inside, crumples them up on the carpet, it says vacuuming again. What?
What is going on,
bro?
man?
I was like, what the fuck is going on?
The craziest people are coming your
man,
way. I would have been like, I'm out.
Thank
you for your hospitality. I'm hitting the road. I'm gonna sleep in the woods.
Yeah, I was, bro. Because I didn't know, because I had no idea where the fuck I was, because they lived so far. I have no idea where the fuck I was.
Social services.
What's going on? No one. I'm not telling people.
People are just like getting guardianship constantly.
I don't. Them, I think it was just like a temporary thing because my mom was hospitalized, and they kind of said, "Oh yeah." I think my mom signed over it, said it's okay temporarily. I don't know what happened, but I'm just like, whatever. So it goes from me having to earn back everything, including my bed. So I slept on the floor the first couple of nights, and I got my bed back eventually from behaving properly. So I went from eating hot meals with the family to eating in because I had I guess a computer room. I had to eat in the computer room, and I would eat the same leftovers every single day.
How does this switch up that quick, man?
Because I lied, right? So I go.
Were you thinking in your head like, I gotta get out of here?
I was. Man. Oh yeah, I was like, I can't stay here. I was like, because I'm like, if I stay here, I'm like, I'm gonna hurt this man. Like I can't. Because I was like, the old man. I'm like, I'm going to make. I'm gonna get. I'm like, if I get access to a phone, like I'm gonna make a phone call. I'm gonna get this man fucking her. Like I'm pissed. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna use basketball and stuff as an outlet. I'm just gonna do that. And it went from I could sleep in the morning, wake up, go get ready for school, go. We went from that to 4 a.m. He was come downstairs, wake me up. We're gonna go run up and military shit. We're gonna do military training before going to school. Just every month.
Basketball?
He did. He's like, you want to play basketball? You want to play basketball? You can do this. But we never actually practiced. It was just conditioning. Run up and down this guy? Fucking.
What was his credentials?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
He just watched Rocky and he's like, I got this.
Yeah, and so they live at the bottom of this steep ass fucking hill in the cul-de-sac. So you're gonna run up and down this fucking hill multiple times. And he would time me. I'm like, it was insane behavior, right? So I was eating leftovers. My leftovers were baked beans, collard greens, and I think some meat. I forget what the meat was. Something, but that was the same meal every fucking day. That's all I had. Separate. It was cold some days. I was separate from them all. Like, I was no longer part of the family. I was just completely isolated in this house. And I'm like, this condition sucked.
That's twisted, man.
I eventually when I kept going to school, my science teacher at the time, like, he realized, like, I was getting, like, my grades were, like, okay, because obviously I wasn't quite where I used to be. But I was, like, also, like, not trying to fail. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll be here sometimes. So he's always like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, your grades are dropping. Like, you're not paying attention. I'm like, oh, there's some things happening. So I finally, like, opened. He was, like, the first adult I, like, opened up and said, hey, like, this is what's going on at home, right? And he was like, what the fuck, right? So he took a liking to me. He was like, okay, we're going to do what we can to help you, blah, blah, blah. So eventually he was going to help. Conditions at home didn't get better, but it was, like, whatever. But by the time it was, like, September, my mom had my sister.
Okay.
So actually, even before that, so 2 days before, so September 11th of 2013, 2006, sorry. I come home from school, and at this point, like, our relationship is, like, better, but still pretty shit. I come home, so I'm tired. I sit down, and they're just like, oh, by the way, your grandfather died. And I was like, huh? No, like, no warm up, just like, oh, by the way, your grandfather died. I was like, excuse me, what? They're like, oh yeah, your mom called, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I was stunned because, like, my grandfather, as much as he was negative, was still, like, that's still my grandfather. Like, he was still there for me when I needed him a lot. And I was like, what the fuck? In my head, I'm like, because I was still kind of, like, trying to be Christian. So, like, I was like, oh, I think my grandpa was in hell because I think he was a Christian, blah, blah. So I'm, like, sad about that. They're like, oh, you don't know that, blah, blah, whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So then 2 days later, my sister was born. So I get home from school again. They take me to like, hey, go to the hospital. Your sister, blah, blah, blah. So I'm happy for my mom, see my sister, all that stuff. And then my mom gets discharged like a week later, and we don't have a place to live because obviously the place we were living at with her baby daddy does not exist anymore, right? Because he's not in the picture. So she comes to stay with like us. So I remember this perfectly was when she came back. There might have been an argument. I don't know what exactly happened, but they told me they stuck me in the bathroom. Like, you need to stay. You're staying in the bathroom. I think there was an argument. I don't know what the fuck happened. But, like, you're in the bathroom. They put to the point where they put something like on the door on the outside to show if I opened the door it would fall. So they knew I'd be like I was there. They gave me like those like portable like bowls of cereal like you get in school and you rip them open, right? Yeah. They gave me that and said use the tap water to it was Cheerios.
Bro,
so
were
like,
you a prisoner of war?
Bro, it felt like
what is happening?
Insane behavior. Like they're like, oh, go eat
Ecuador,
this. Right? Bro, fucking crazy. I was pissed. So my mom like,
what part of the Bible is this treatment?
That's right. So I was like, okay, this is nuts. So after that, my mom's there and she sees it because they tell me to sit in the bathroom when my mom's there, and like almost like it was so in my head. I'm not thinking about I'm like it was so bold that you did this shit in front of my mother, which I'm like my mom's like obviously still not all there because baby's here or whatever. So my mom when they leave, my mom like opens doors like get the fuck in the bathroom. Like what are you doing? Like get out, right? Blah blah blah. So she lets me out for a little bit, and when she knows they're coming home, she go back in. And then, like, right?
Dude, you're Harry Potter.
Yeah,
man.
bro, it was crazy.
Except
it was just
even worse,
bro. It was ridiculous. So anyway, I'll summarize quickly. So eventually, the church like reached out and was like, the church was really supportive. They got like they owned property. The church, there was a house, whatever. So like, hey, you guys can live here. Okay. Everyone in the church donated. We had like beds, a crib for my sister. Like they hooked us up with everything. TVs, like we were good. Like we were living on like this is nice. And then the dad still drove me like to like the bus stop to go to school or whatever. So I still had to interact with them. And then at this point, this is still 2006. This is like November because we left in December of 2006. So this is still like September. So my sister was still there. So I guess maybe October, whatever. So sometime in September, October. So there was one day where I'm coming out of the house to go to the car. He's in there. He's on the phone talking to someone, and like my pants. I think my belt broke or whatever, so my pants weren't fitting. So I'm like, because again, most of my clothes weren't mine, right? So I'm like, my pants weren't fitting. So I'm trying to adjust them, or whatever. And like he's like, pull up your pants. I'm like, yeah, I'm trying. Right? And so I'm sitting outside, like open the passenger door, sitting there, and like he's in the driver's seat on the phone, and like trying, blah blah blah. And he's like, hurry up. I'm like, dude, I'm trying, right? And I guess he didn't like my tone, so he grabs me and pulls me. I hit my head on the fucking top of it, and I was like, I went feral. I put this man to sleep. I just like hit my head like this, come back, and I just start swinging. Man, phone drops, slumps on the fucking stereo, and I just run back and announce him out the door. He wakes up like a couple minutes later. He's banging on my mom's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, he put his hands on me. My head fucking hurt. Blah blah blah. I'm like, I hurt him. I punched him to the left. She's like, "Stay here," whatever. So he eventually keeps banging. My mom's like, "What?" He was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "Where's your son?" My mom's like, "What? You're not going to my son." He's like, "He put his hands on me." She's like, "Did you grab him?" He's like, "Whoa, yeah. He doesn't put his hands on dolls." She's like, "Well, you don't put your hands on children, especially children that aren't yours. Like, what are you doing, right?" So he eventually leaves. So that's when like the relationship started really going downhill with like him. And like the mask started coming off at church because my mom was like, "Hey, she's telling everyone what was going on, right?" So then December, so as we came down, I think we came after Christmas. So December, Christmas time is coming. So the church is now donating us a lot of stuff. There's this one other family that I would love to. I went to their house like every couple of weekends, played college football like with their son, played basketball and stuff. Like him and I were really good friends. So they donated me a PS2 because like, "Hey, we know you like PS2. Like here's PS2." They gave me Madden, all that stuff. I was like, "Oh, nice. This is awesome, right?" So Ahmed and his family found out about it. So I'm at school. My mom's upstairs with the baby. He lets himself in the house because apparently he had a key or whatever. He takes the PS2 and everything and says, "Oh, this is ours for whatever." Just claims it. And my mom's like, "What the fuck?" Right? So I can remember I came home like, "Oh, where's my PS2?" My mom's like, "Well, it should be there." I'm like, "No." So she calls, like, they're like, "Oh yeah, we took it because he doesn't deserve it, blah blah blah." So then instead of like freaking out, my mom just calls the woman who donated it, which is the family, and they in church she goes off on this man in front of everyone, like, how dare you, blah blah blah, all this shit, exposing him, like the mask is coming off, exposing like how evil these people really are. And so like after all the back and forth, like he's trying to defend himself, she's like not having, she's like, "That's a child, what are you doing to the child, blah blah blah," just going crazy. Then she brings the PS2 back, all this stuff. So at that point, mom was like, "Hey, like, we need to just get out of here." She was like, "I'm actually kind of tired of it." She realized I was also starting to talk to the wrong people again because I was making friends at this school. People were in the wrong crowd again. I'm like, "Oh, I used to do this stuff over right." So I'm like, "Okay." So I started getting the wrong. And this time my mom actually noticed it. So she's like, "Hey, you're at the age now where you're prime recruiting age for like gangs and all that stuff." She's like, "We're moving back." Because again, my grandfather died. She's like, "Hey, we're moving. We're going to go back to Canada. She said we're going to go back to like be around your grandma, who I think I met when I was a baby. I don't remember her. I didn't even know her. I had no idea. So we're going to be around grandma. She needs some support now, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, sure. Okay, whatever. Right. So we moved to Canada.
And you moved to
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
We moved to
Why Edmonton?
This is where my grandma was. She was here.
Oh, okay.
Right. My grandma was here, and then my uncle that I didn't like was also here, and then her kids. My grandma, like, essentially, like, she abandoned my mom and my uncle at like when they were teenagers to go just have another family. Just said fuck it, I'm out. She did not. They didn't get divorced, so she still had like my grandfather's last name, but just said fuck it, I'm out, and just left. Had a whole different family.
Damn.
Abandoned them completely. So
is your mom's mom?
Yeah, my mom's mom. So that my mom decided she wanted to reconnect with her, whatever, like build a relationship with family's family. Stupid ass line. So she moved here to be around her, and like I think it was more for my mom to like. She didn't want to go to Nova Scotia because she's like, I can't go back because the family was fucked up. So I was like, oh, just go here or whatever. So here was good. Like, it wasn't. It was better. It was like, it wasn't as toxic. We moved with my uncle and his family.
You're like 16 at this point?
I was 13 still.
13.
Yeah, they're still 13 at this point. So first couple of years was honestly just, they kind of were a blur. It was just, I went to school. I had met the wrong friends. I was doing the dumb shit again. I was like, but this time I was now drinking and I was partying and like all that stuff. And I was getting into fights, bear macing people, which again, that's crazy. That's the whole thing now. But macing people, beating people up. I was just doing the stupid shit again. Getting in trouble, getting arrested, cops, like all that stuff. Just in and out of like the justice system, whatever. And then my 13 to 16 years of just me just being stupid. I was just doing dumb shit. 16 is when like I was like, hey, what is happening? So I came home and my mom like had, at this point also, like I was like my sister's dad because I was babysitting. I would take her to daycare. Like I was picking her up from day. It was just a lot. I was like trying to balance that with school and basketball. It was just, I was doing so much. Like my mom almost made it so I didn't have a social life, which is why on the weekends I just left and was just gone. And I was running away a lot. Like I'd be gone like I said, for weeks, months with my friend just wouldn't come home. So I'm like, I don't want to go back. I'm like, I hate that place. I don't want to go back there. I think this one I was starting to like really realize like, hey, I don't like being with my mom.
Yeah.
And like she would have like people staying with, but like there were family. 2 of my cousins from Nova Scotia came out, to move and live with us. And so like I was there, like they were older, like I loved them to death actually. They're really good, but like I didn't know them at the time, so I'm like, who the fuck are these guys? So I just kind of had like that stuff in and out, and then when I was 16, I was like, hey, you know what? I don't know what's happening. So I come home from work, school one day, and my mom is like in a weird state. Like she's just kind of like almost catatonic. I'm like, what the fuck's going on right now? Like she's just kind of like zoning out, and like, I'm like, what's happening? This is all I don't remember exactly what happened. My mom ends up getting admitted to like the Grey Nuns, the hospital there, and so she gets admitted. She gets diagnosed with like, I think at the time it was like bipolar, schizophrenic, a bunch of different things, just because obviously her mom also has a bunch of these things. So she's diagnosed with these things, and they're like, hey, you gotta like go. So me seeing it was kind of like not trauma. It was trauma. It should have been traumatizing, but I was like,
I mean,
at
like, this point,
yeah, I was like,
whatever,
like, right? But they're like, well, you should really talk to someone about it. I'm like, I don't really care, but whatever. So then the therapist that was seeing my mom started seeing me, and then she was like, why? Pretty much, she was like, why the fuck aren't you like, why aren't you messed up? Like, what's going on? I'm like, oh, I just don't care, right?
This was your normal.
Yeah, right. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't know much. I'm like, probably my mom's probably told you some stuff. I'm like, our relationship is not the best, whatever. So that's when I started talking to this lady, and she was like, it was weird because she would make us sit down and have like family sessions, and like speaking in a family session made me push further away from my mom. It actually was making me more mad, which was like supposed to be the opposite, obviously, but I was like, I don't want to be like the stuff. I'm like, the stuff she was putting me through. I'm like, I don't like you. I don't like being around. Like I can't do it anymore. And it was pissing me off even more. So I would like leave a session and then be gone for 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm going to save my friend. I'm leaving, blah, blah, blah. Right. And it was just constantly doing that stuff. And then there was a day, I think I was 16, 17, I forgot, but I have the wound, I got stabbed, messing with the wrong people, got into a big fight, and there's a big, like, just a pretty much big ass group of kids show up, and like people are fighting. I'm just swinging at anyone I can see, and then all of a sudden I get like, I look down, I'm like, they're like, hey Shaq, what the fuck? I'm like, what? And I look down, it's like, right, I'm like, oh shit, because like a gentleman was running, right, so I didn't really notice. I'm bleeding, I'm like, what the fuck? And then like obviously when I see it is when like it kicks in, I'm like, oh shit, and I drop, and I remember waking up, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like in the hospital, like they're IV, they're doing all this shit like to fix it, whatever. Jesus. And I was like, what the fuck? And like where it is, that's really close to my house. I'm like, I was really close to just fucking dying, right? So I'm like, okay, I really need to stop going back down this. I'm like, I gotta stop doing this. I'm like, this is the second time. I'm like, you gotta get the fuck out, right? I was like, I gotta get out, right? It's okay. I'm like, I'm just gonna start focusing on basketball. I'm like, I just gotta focus on something to keep me positive. I'm just gonna do this. So I just like really stuck my head out and just started doing basketball. And I met like good friends with people I'm still friends with now. I'm still really good friends with them. I met them through it, and like that kind of helped. But my mom was still in the hospital. Like my sister was living. I think my sister was with my grandmother. I want to say. I forget where my sister was actually. I don't know where she was, but she was with a family member or someone. But then my mom got out, and it was like more the same. She got out, and my mom is on people like who think she knows better than everyone else. So she kind of just like, oh, doctor's wrong, blah, blah. I'm like, you were in there for a couple months. There's no way the doctor was wrong. Like you were there for months. They wouldn't keep you there if they were wrong. Like that's crazy, but whatever. Yeah, it turned into my living space was my teenage years essentially, like from 16 when I was here, 16 to 18 were just honestly it was just partying. It was just bad. Like it's all honestly most of it here is a blur. Like it was just like a lot of like partying, drinking. I play basketball every now and then, and like I finally sat down and started playing basketball more. But the positive part was
when did it start to change?
Yeah, I know.
And I know like a lot of these stories, it's not linear, and there's not usually like one moment like, oh, then everything changed.
Yeah,
but
no.
When did it start to? It sounded like it started with the basketball.
It did. It was basketball, and it was so. Where I used to live, we used to go every Friday night. We go to youth group just to go hang out. It wasn't for even the church stuff. This was at Hope City. It was here.
It was a church.
Yeah, it was a church here. Yeah. Okay. So every Friday we'd go there.
You and your friends.
Me and my friends would just go, but we weren't there for. We were there for because they had an indoor court. Like, we're here to play basketball, so we don't care about anything else, right? And like honestly, every bad kid went there because it was like a place where we could all go, that we could just be there and like
play some ball,
get
stuff like that.
Play ball. There was obviously still drinking, and there was just all the stuff we shouldn't be doing in church. What we were doing in church.
Space,
right? Yeah, it was just space, right? So I was there constantly, like every week playing. I just wanted to play ball, that's all I cared about. Then I met Andrew. So I was there. I was going there for a couple of months, and then Andrew started as a youth pastor there. He was about like, I think he was in his 20s or whatever, but he real cool because we had the other youth pastor we had was still really cool, like him a lot. But then he like I guess they needed a second one because like, hey, there's more kids coming up, so we did a second youth pastor, and someone was a little younger because he was like in his like almost his 40s. He was a little older. So like, hey, we need someone younger to kind of relate to the youth. So Andrew comes, and Andrew came from a background, like this is not a slight on him, but he came from a basketball background. He played in university, loved the sport, but it also like he came from a different life entirely. Like, his parents, his dad was loaded, like was in the oil industry, like made a bunch of like he's like was running oil businesses. Like they own a big ranch like out in like Red Deer, so like they a lot of
different
money.
lifestyle.
They're very different lifestyle, right? So, but he never like was the he was never like a snobby person. He knew where he came from. He just didn't really understand the other side.
Sure.
So he was there, and we would play basketball with him. He would join up, play basketball with us all the time, whatever. And like there was just he's just cool, whatever. But he like was consistently there. Like he was there every week, and like he was always like positive. Even when we fucked up, like I kicked a hole in the wall once. He's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. You're good. Like say blah blah blah. He was always there and always positive. And I didn't realize at the moment, I'm like, oh, it's just another person. I didn't realize like how much of an impact it was having on me. And then there was one day, which is where the whole Youth Rise thing comes from, was one day he drove me home and he saw like saw my living conditions. Like he saw how I was living, and he was like, wait, you're going home? I'm like, yeah. He's like, this is where you live? I'm like, yeah. He's like, what's going on? Like he was just like thrown off. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go home. I gotta go babysit. My mom's going out. I gotta babysit, blah, blah, blah. He was just like, wait, what? And like the house, like where we live wasn't bad, but it was just like the conditions, like situation, like what the fuck? So it kind of was like, he was like, wait, this is what you go home to every day? I was like, yeah, because I went home, my mom was outside loud, drunk. It was just bad. A kid shouldn't be in that environment, but my mom, again, normal to me. I don't really give a shit at that point, but he was like, what the fuck? So it was kind of like the first thing for me was like, oh, this is really weird. And then I just kept. Then he would like start reaching out. Like we exchanged numbers. He would like reach out every now and then. Like would just constantly was there. Like, hey, like what are you doing today? He would take
positive figure. In
positive,
your life,
right? He was just like, hey, like
about you.
We want to go get. Like I remember I needed basketball shoes for something. He's like, yeah, here's the money. Go get it. Blah blah blah. He was like always just like helpful in there. And yeah, that was when I kind of like started changing. Like my friends, I stopped hanging out with the bad friends. I went back with the basketball friends, hanging with them more. My nights were just like, it was either basketball or it was video games. It was like that. I'd go to my one friend's house up the street. We all kind of lived like on the same road, which is kind of funny. Like we didn't know we kind of all met eventually, but we all were on like the same exact road. But I went over to my friend's house. They would play like, I think it was, at the time I think it was Naruto Storm, like Ninja Storm 2 or whatever. Like, it was like a fighting game. We would just play that like crazy all the time, and like that was our weeknights and our weekends. And then like if it wasn't then during the day, I was playing basketball. Like, it was just I was staying out of trouble, like, being good.
Like the youth pastor thing still on your mind?
No, I that was just I did it because I had to. It wasn't something I even wanted to do. But I was like, I do want to like help. So I didn't know what to do.
Were you still connected with Andrew?
Oh yeah,
church?
yeah. Andrew and I still talked we still chatted a lot.
Okay.
So yeah, when I came back, I was like, hey, like, what the hell do I do? So I just went to I picked up the first job I could find, which I think was a liquor store. Working at a liquor store, was managing that for a bit, and then became a nightclub promoter. And I think at 21, I met my wife there, just promoting. We hosted an event. We had Bow Wow come to for like an event. Short dude, by the way.
Who?
Bow Wow.
Oh, Bow Wow.
Bow Wow. Yeah.
Little Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow.
You know what's also crazy? What? That the guy George, who's about the Yu-Gi-Oh cards me, he looked exactly like Little Bow Wow. Like, honestly, he used to put cornrows in his hair.
Wow.
And they looked identical.
That is nuts, man.
And Little Bow Wow used to be the shit.
Oh, 100%.
And like, then now he's kind of like, I don't know what's going on, man.
So we had an event for him, came in, like, it was bad. He was
Little Bow Wow, so obviously he's short.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The event was a shit show.
Not good?
No, he got too high.
Oh, well, yeah,
I'm not even. I don't even want to like, because I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but like, it pretty much like
he was on drugs.
Like weed. He was because they were like when they were coming out, they're like, hey, like we're like, hey, like what do you want? They're like, oh, just get us weed. We're like, okay, like how strong? And like, obviously, weed is weed. Like not weed is weed, but like we're like we can get you like stuff from BC. Like we can get you like really really good strong shit. Like they're like, oh, it would be fine. I'm like, are you sure? Like, oh, yeah, it's good. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever, we'll get it. So we got him some good stuff from BC. This man was fucked. Like he was so.
Was he supposed to be performing?
He was supposed to be just. He was just an appearance. He was supposed to be there, like talk to people.
Just chilling?
Yeah, just chilling. Like, but he's supposed to like interact with people, talk, kind of be on the mic, but all that stuff, right? So my boys and I are at the front. We're at the party. Like we're getting the place crazy, and like it got to the point where, like the owners were like, hey, can you guys stop so people can buy drinks so no one's buying, because they're at the front at the like the front of like the stage. So eventually he comes in. And like this is like hours in, so he comes in, walks past, everyone goes to the VIP, and like just quiet, doesn't say shit. He's just sitting there, just like
stone to death.
He's out of his mind. So like we're talking,
crazy,
and he's just out of it. And like after like I want to say an hour and a half, he just leaves. He just walks away and leaves. I'm like, huh? So like it was just a huge amount. Like the good part of it, I met my wife.
Met your wife.
It was her first time at a club. It was really cool. It was nice.
Good.
But yeah, it was that when I was 21, and then it just kind of. That story it was important, the fact that like I was in the club scene a lot at that was between like 20 and 22. My life was like liquor store and club. Like I was still around, so I was kind of back in the same field, but like not
dipping illegal. Your toes.
I was dipping my toes. I wasn't going the full crazy route, but I was still kind of in the industry again.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So after I met my wife, we kind of started like chatting, blah, blah, blah. And like she kind of also was like, hey, like she wasn't doing it because it was her first time at a club. She's like, I don't really like her. So she kind of stopped going. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll stop doing it, right? So like I kind of like drifted away. And I got out of the field like entirely. I think the second year we were dating, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. But with her direction and with Andrew still, even when I was an adult, like still reaching out, say, hey man, how's it been going? Blah, blah, blah. He was like that constant thing. Mm-hmm. He was like, when I look back at it now, he was like the reason why I can say he's one of the main reasons I am where I am, because he kind of like, as much as I didn't realize it and like understand it when I was a kid, like him being positive, that one adult like kind of helped me, like, oh, how are you doing? Like, how's things? Like he actually showed he cared for one, mm-hmm. and he was actually there. I'm like, that helped me not go back, because again, as I showed, I went back down that road after being over for like a year. I came back, man, I want to do it again, right? Mm-hmm. So he kind of helped me like steer away from it again. And then he was like, hey, I started Youth Thrives, and he kind of reached out and told me what Youth Thrives. And I was like, oh, cool. Like I didn't know the why he started. He never really told me the why. He's just like, yeah, I started this thing. So I started volunteering them. Like I would show up every now and then, like coach basketball.
We should say that like Youth Thrives is an organization that they're like a Christian organization that have like a basketball. I mean, you tell.
So it's a Christian-led organization. They obviously are Christian, like I said, but they don't force it on kids. They pretty much everyone's open. It's for everyone, obviously, but like their main focus is kids who are at risk, the people who were like kids who were like me that like just have chaos. They need a space to just kind of be able to be themselves and not be judged.
Be around positive people.
Right? So
he started that.
He started it. It was his idea.
You started volunteering.
Yeah, so I started volunteering, and so they have like basketball teams, and they obviously everything is free, so the kids have no charge. Mm-hmm. They just want to do everything they can to kind of empower these kids, give them the tools so they can actually be successful, because they know like if you're a kid in the like again kid like me that like had nothing but chaos, it's hard to kind of even join a basketball team because like you can't afford it, or like there's just so many things going on. A lot of barriers. So many barriers. So like they like to knock down as many barriers as possible for these youth so they can kind of just be successful. So they have like tutoring, they have basketball, they like work, so they teach how to do resumes, like they had a closet for kids to get clothes, like they had everything, right? So I would help volunteer there. I would help coach the kids a lot. I would just show up and just like kind of play with the youth, whatever. It was just really just my way of giving back. So I'm like, hey, I just want to be able to help. I'm like, as much as like I've been through, I'm like, I want to now help, because I'm like, I understand how like how beneficial it is for me to like, how am I trying to say this? I understand like the positive, like how like Youth Rise in general, how Andrew was, and I understand like I don't say lucky, but I guess I'm lucky to be standing here. I'm like, I made it out because I had the positive adults in my life. So I'm like, I want to be able to do that as well, give back, help out as much as I possibly can, and that's why like, I was volunteering there for a while. I was again coaching the basketball team. I did what I could to give back, and then like if I wasn't volunteering there, I was like coaching other teams. Like I would coach like some EYBA teams and stuff like that. Just kind of do what I could to help and give back, right?
This positive activity is also to just be involved in you. Like you were saying, you were coming off this like nightclub and like kind of directionless in a way. So it's like, this is like something put your time in, but it's also it's a good use of time.
It's a really good thing. Yeah. And again, I'll be on, like, I still wasn't entirely sure, like,
what your direction was,
what my direction in life was, and I also wasn't like sure like why. I wasn't entirely sure why I was even doing it. Someone was just telling me just to do it. I'm like, but I couldn't really identify what it was. I'm like, why am I want to do this? I'm like, why do I really want to get back? Like, what's going on?
I mean, it sounds like it was a pillar of positivity for you just in general, not even like the giving back aspect, but of like, this used to be a space you went to, like maybe subconsciously you just wanted to get back to like a place of like comfort, positivity, and being around Andrew.
100%. I think that's what it was, and it was like just it was mostly just that. Like, you're right, it hit the nail on the head. Was like, that's what it was. I just wanted to kind of be around positivity and help out, and it kind of like just led to me saying like, hey, I think I wanted to be a what the hell is the word? I don't have the. What is the word? Holy crap. I want to be able to help people, but I didn't have the money to do it. What the hell? It was like not an entrepreneur. Someone like does a lot of like community work, but has like a lot of money and they do it. There's like an actual
philanthropist.
Thank you. There you go. Brain again. Long day. Philanthropist. Philanthropist.
It's a weird word.
Yeah, I wanted to be a philanthropist, but I was like, I don't have the money to be that. So I was like, the next best thing was like, I can just volunteer and help, do what I can, and just really, really help. So that's why I was like, okay, you know what? I think this is what I'm going to do in life. And it just kind of stuck with me for a bit. And then what was I going to say? Yeah, Andrew was even at the point, like, he came to my wedding and like he was happy wasn't understanding. He was like, it's crazy just to see like. He was like the growth, like seeing you here from where you were, like it's insane just to kind of see. And like I will say like to kind of touch on some things with him, like after I got baptized and stuff, I was very much anti-religion. I'm still like, I'm not anti-religion right now, but I'm kind of like.
I was about to say, how much does like faith play a part in your life?
For me, that's the big thing. Not at all, which sounds crazy. I'd say I'm spiritual. Like, I think that your deeds and your actions should be what judge you, not who you choose to worship. I just think if you're a good person who does good things, that should be how you're judged, not anything else. Just because my experiences with people who deem themselves as Christian were some of the most evil people I've ever met were Christians. And I will say, to all credit, even when I went to youth night and stuff, the kids who were claiming to be Christian are the ones doing like the crazy shit. So I'm like, you're a Christian, but you're out here drinking every night, like you're doing nuts. I'm like, you're sleeping with every boy you know. Well, like you're a Christian, like it was just. I'm like, this just seems weird, right? I will say, for Andrew's credit, he is everything I think a Christian should be, and he's always been that. Like, he's always been like the values. He does not judge any person at all based on it. He does not hold you like bad things against you. He's like, oh, mistake, whatever. He's like, the one thing why when I really like realized Andrew was like really tough, like really good, was I've always had this idea of like how people viewed even just gay people, and like he was like, I don't care. Like, he just genuinely was like, nope, it's not my job to judge. I don't care. Like, first, like, I don't care to begin with, but it's also like everyone has their own thing. Us judging doesn't make us better. Like, what's the point of it, right? So he's always been like what I thought a Christian should be, what I think it should be. And he's also like, he's a human. So like, he's like, I've seen Andrew like almost fight someone because someone was like, there was kids where Youth Rises, where, you know, like the main building, it's the area is not the greatest, so there was kids playing, right? And like old man like goes off on them and like, oh, what are you doing? And so Andrew like because he started getting racist towards these kids, so Andrew gets out and gets pissed and like is yelling at this guy. I'm like,
so he's not immune to like human emotions.
He's not immune to it at all, right? And I'm like, that's what you should be if you're going to be
genuine.
A Christian.
So he has good values. He's genuine. He's
dude.
Relatable in a way. It sounds like he's a really big influence in a lot of ways.
He definitely. It's crazy. I look back at it and I'm like, he's probably why I am the way I am now.
Played a part.
Yeah,
for
he
sure,
played a big part, and like I didn't notice it in the beginning, and until like I think when I was at my wedding when we were chatting, was when it kind of like fully hit me. I was like, I'm pretty sure I made him cry because I'm like, dude, like you are like a big reason why like I am where I am now. Like, you were a huge influence, and I always like every time I see him, I do my best. Like, I gas him up as much as possible because I'm like, dude, you are. I know you have your own ship. I'm like, you are like such a genuine person. Like, if you die tomorrow, like, the amount of people at your funeral would be insane.
I gotta meet this guy,
like,
man. You gotta introduce me sometime. 100%.
Dude. He is so like,
because Youth Rise in general, man, is like an incredible organization. I'm not a person of faith, right? It's never resonated with me, and I think that in that aspect, I feel a bit of an outsider to that
Yep.
organization, but I feel like the work that they're doing
100%.
is incredible, and they're
Yep.
expanding, and the space that they have. We went to go tour it together.
Yeah.
It was great, man,
Yep.
and I love what they're doing.
Yep.
And yeah, you definitely have to introduce me to him
Oh,
someday.
100%. Oh, yeah. He's
Because I met some of the other people there, and
Yeah,
I'm like,
even
these
them.
are all solid
a lot of them,
people.
because I went to school at Carlos there, and like I've known pretty much everyone there. I knew from like volunteering, or I knew from like previous Youth Rise, like or
Yeah.
even like youth nights. But yeah, like he had a standard and values, and like he only brought in people that like echoed that.
Mhm.
He did not want to bring someone who's going to be counter to what he says. He's like, no, I want
Course,
people who like
course.
echo what I want, and how
Yeah.
I feel. Because he's like, if this fails, it's on me. I don't want it to be like, I don't want it to just be this another upstart thing. He's like, he wants it to be an impact, and he doesn't even want it for like the notoriety. He just wants it. He genuinely just wants to help.
That's
He's like,
good,
I
man.
want every youth to have the opportunities
I'm
that I
glad there's
had.
people like that out
right?
there, man. That
And
just,
like he,
altruistic.
man, he's been so great with it, and it's like, and it's funny too, because like one of the things, like I mentioned, like his family as well, he could have at any point like said, hey dad, give me money for this. He
Sure.
never went to his parents for that. He was like, I'm gonna do it on my own. I'm gonna do like kind of like get grants. Like he worked on it by himself.
That's
Obviously
good.
it helped, but like he's been like a rock, and like he's had his own health issues. Like like I think he had some concussion stuff, but like he's just still been like
Still grinding away at this dream.
man. He's
and it's
such a great
expanding,
person.
it's catching on. I
Yeah,
mean,
like Youth Rise has been around for, I think this is their, I think they said fifth or sixth official, fifth, I think it's their fifth year. But like they've been kind of like they were kind of around before, but not as big as it is now. And like even that, so they're expanding. They have like the South location. They have
a lot of volunteers as well. Like it's basically
many.
ran by volunteers.
Yeah, it's like
essentially,
there's,
man.
I think they said at least, I think there was they said like 70 plus, because
Yeah,
like
there was a lot.
they have like people when they like have their youth night,
And, like,
there's volunteers
regular.
cook their food. Like they
Yeah,
have women, like
yeah,
these
yeah.
women come in, they just
Which is
just
crazy.
come in, just help. They're like, we'll cook
Which
the food
is
for them. It's
like-
like
I mean, I feel like this day and age to get anybody to do anything outside of like work and home life, just for the sake of doing
Challenge.
it, is me included, man.
Oh yeah,
Like if you're trying to
I
get
like
me
my
out
house.
to do something, it could be a challenge. Got to be worth it. You know what
it's
I
like
mean?
they're only my house right now. It's like what time? Is this?
Yeah.
It's like with me now, but depending on what time is it, I might leave my house at 7 o'clock. Probably not. No,
Dude, it's tough, man. It's tough. And volunteering, especially if your job, like, I know for me, you know, the career that I've been in for a long time has been social services.
Mm-hmm.
So anything outside of it, I'm like, dude, for 10 hours a day, I'm like helping out the community or whatever. And
Exactly.
it can get like taxing. And then
Mhm.
like on top of that, to do anything else just felt like a little more than I think that I was willing to sign up
Yeah.
for. It had
No,
to be
for sure.
something like I volunteered with Big Brother, Big Sisters back
Mhm.
home. And I like that
Yep.
because it was like, okay, I'm just kicking it with this kid for a little bit. We're
Exactly.
doing
Easy.
something fun.
Yep.
That is something I could sign up for.
100%.
But I think it can get a little challenging when you're signing up for something else.
Yeah.
But I guess Youth Rise, I mean, it seems like one of those things where, yeah, it's like a positive environment. It doesn't seem
Yeah.
very taxing. If anything, it probably gives you good energy.
Yeah, and like the one thing too is like with their volunteers, they're like, hey, if you need a break, just let us know.
Yeah,
They're
that's
like,
true.
yeah,
They said that,
yeah.
actually.
They're like, hey, if you think you're tired, like
and
you
they
just
set
can't
up their
come.
scheduling in a way where
Yep.
they do give their volunteers a full-time
Yep.
volunteer.
Yeah, they get the summers off. Volunteers
Yeah,
don't work
yeah,
summers at
yeah.
all. And they're like, hey, if you like, because there was a point where like, I think one of the biggest moments I guess I can even touch on to continue is when I was like getting really deep into volunteering. This is when I learned about myself, and I learned about like, I think it was like, this is what I want to do moment. Andrew was adamant. He's like, hey, you should come to the retreat, because they do like a volunteer retreat every summer to kind of get us ready for like the year, right? He's like, you should really come out. I'm like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. Like, I'll try. I was going through some stuff at work. It was just a tough time. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. So I was like, it's a weekend away. I'll go, right? I'm like, it's all paid for. I'll just go, right? And it was at his like parents' ranch, which I'd been to when I was a kid when he did trips. But anyway, so he's like, he didn't tell me why. He was like, adamant, you should come, blah, blah, blah. So we like get there at night. We all kind of chill, whatever. The next morning, it's like, hey, we're gonna just have a meeting, worship, all this stuff. I'm like, hey, yeah, whatever. I don't want to be there for worship, but whatever. I'm like, I'll be here. So after worship, they have a conversation, and Andrew's like pretty much like their goal for the next year. Talking about, he's like, this is like, and he brings up something that I never heard of called the ACEs study. So I always forget what it stands for. It was like aversive
childhood experiences.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So the aversive childhood experiences, he brings that up, and he's like, he looks at me, he's like, the reason why I wanted you here, Shaq, was because he's like, He's like, I kind of know what your score is, but I want you to tell everyone here because no one there knew my story at all, right? So I was like, oh, what is it? I'm like, what is this? I open it, I read it, and I'm like, oh, all 10 of these. Mm-hmm. That's insane, right? Mm-hmm. And everyone was like, what? Because everyone else was like, oh, I'm a 2, I'm a 3, whatever. I'm like, even a 2 or 3, you're kind of like going down the wrong. Like, it's kind of like, holy shit.
Yeah, so the higher your number on this quiz, essentially, the more susceptible you are to negative life outcomes, right? So if you're a 1 or 2, you had some bad things happen to you, but you're probably going to be all right. Yeah. And then the higher you get on, the more, again, negative life outcomes. Mm-hmm. So, like, someone who is a 8, 9, 10, it's really, it's a lot.
It's pretty, I don't want to say it's pretty rare that they kind of can turn their life around, but they have
statistically speaking is that they just they have it way harder and that they don't.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the odds are against them. So like they ask questions about like, has someone in your house been arrested, there's been drug use, have you been sexually molested, all that stuff. I didn't touch on that because I don't really, but I was when I was 5. My mom, again, bad choice, left me with a babysitter. It was weird. There's a reason why I can't watch the show Reboot. I don't know if you remember that show. It was like a
dude, that show I never liked it.
It was a weird because it looked weird.
Super weird.
It was a weird show, but
I never liked it.
I remember just looking at the TV. I saw that on TV when it happened. I was like, fuck. So they asked you questions like that. So it was a 10. So I was like, holy shit, I'm a 10. And then he was like, yeah, can you like speak on that? And then like I think that's when it was like, holy shit, like this is all hitting me, and like everyone's there was like, holy crap, like they were like, and like, holy crap, like they didn't know like you're going through that, you okay? Like it was, I'm like, yeah, like I'm fine, like I'm good now, like I think I'm better, like it's kind of like I was like, I kind of like went through it, and like it's done, it's over with. And then like after that, I really kind of went on a, I don't want to say a soul searching journey, but I kind of like try to figure out like what I try to deal with that stuff because I feel like I realized at that point I never actually like sat down and like actually like fully processed my life, right? I was like, holy shit, I went through a lot, right? And I was like, God damn, this is crazy. So at that point I was like, I finally started dealing with it. I'm like, I should really start processing and getting through all this stuff I've been through. And I was like, okay, well now it's time to like talk to someone, get going. So like I started seeing a therapist and all that stuff, and I kind of really started, I'm like, I'm gonna go work at Youth Rise, I'm gonna volunteer and just help as much as I can. I want to be there for the kids. And and like the positivity from people at Youth Rise, like, yeah, if you need some time off, because there was like point, I was like a couple months, I'm like, hey, I can't come because like work is getting crazy, just whatever. And like, yeah, it's fine, we'll just take off the schedule, you're good, don't worry about it, right? And like them always being positive also has, even as an adult, was helping my kid. I'm like, I would feel bad. Me, when I cancel plans, as much as like, I'll be honest, I love canceling plans because like I'm like, I don't leave my house, right? I still feel bad because I still feel like, oh, we have these plans. I'm like, I feel bad. I'm like,
it always sucks. Right? It always sucks.
But they didn't care. Like, yeah, no, man, take care of yourself.
That's
do
the
what you
best
gotta do,
way,
right?
yeah.
Right. Like that's the best approach, right? I think, in my opinion, like, right? So they were always like, yeah, take care of yourself. Make sure you take care. Like they were adamant about it, right? So like them saying it and like just being around them all the time when I was with them, it was just nice that positive, and it kind of like helped me. Because I also realized that, from being honest, from like even when I met my wife in the beginning, I was in like a daze. That when I look back, like I was at a point like in my life, I was like bouncing around like jobs. Like I was just kind of existing for like 4 or 5 years in my 20s. Like I was just kind of, I couldn't tell you a lot of my 20s. Like there wasn't a lot of good. It was just like, it wasn't like horrible. It's like I'm like rest. It was like just, I was bouncing around. Friendships were ending. It was just a lot of like just bullshit in my 20s.
I feel like those years, because I was very similar in a way too. Where I was just trying to figure out, and just like you were coming off a tail end of all this chaos. Yep. So now you're kind of like coming off this whirlwind. You're trying to figure it out. So you're like going in all sorts of directions, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, while also dealing with like the unexpectedness of life in a lot of ways. So yeah, I totally hear you there.
Yeah, it was a lot. And like even when I went to the retreat, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, what the hell am I doing with my life? And I was kind of in a daze, and that kind of like, I guess, turned the light on in my head, and I was like, okay,
maybe I should be like a mentor.
Yeah, I was like, I really want to start helping people. And then again, I was doing my best to volunteer. I got really back into coaching again, and like led the team like the best record ever that we had. Like it was fun. It was good. I enjoyed it. I was even training them like personal training a lot of the kids. I'm like, this is great. This is what I want to do. I want to help as much as I can. I used my schooling finally because I did go back to school when I came back eventually, like just go get my my PT stuff and all that stuff done. But yeah, so I finished that and finished the year just figuring out what I wanted to do, and then I was working one day. Andrew he gives me a call. He's like, hey man, like what are you doing right now? I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of at home. He's like, yo, let's go for eat, go eat or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go for a bite, and then this was actually last year. This is when I heard about the job that like where we met, I guess where we worked together. But he's like, yeah, I just got out this meeting with like these people. He's like, they asked me if I had anyone in mind. He's like, you were the first and only person that came to mind. He's like, you would be great for the position. You should try out for it. And I'm like,
and this position, this just for people that don't know, this is a position where people who have lived experience work with high-risk youth who just the traditional youth worker hasn't really worked.
Yep.
So this was a position to kind of fill that gap. Like, okay, here's somebody's been through it. Kind of do what Andrew did to you, right?
Exactly.
Where like be a supportive, positive guy, but also someone in a way like, hey, I could relate to that because I've been through something similar in a way. And so that's where I worked.
Yep.
And then we met at that fundraiser, Youth Rise fundraiser. And then you were going to get into that position, which you ultimately did.
Yeah, that was fun though, because when he told me about it, I met up with our boss, our former boss. We met up with our boss, met with them for like an hour and a half, and they're like, "Yep, you're good." Like they pretty much told me like, "The job is yours." And I remember when my son was being born, I got a call from like my supervisor. He's like, "Hey, like, position's yours. You can start whenever." Right? And I was like, "Hey, my son's being born. Can I start in September?" He's like, "Yep, cool, you're good." That was September of 2025. It took
like a year.
It took a year.
That's crazy. Because I remember hearing it. I'm like, yeah, this guy Shaq's coming soon.
Yeah.
And the program was still like in its infancy.
Yep.
So I was like the new member coming on after like a bunch of changes.
Yep.
And we're hearing about Shaq. Like, all right, sweet, cool, Shaq's coming on. And then like haven't heard about you in forever.
It was chaos.
And then at the fundraiser, I'm like, oh, you're Shaq.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, when are you actually starting?
Exactly,
you're still starting? I wasn't even working with him at that point.
Yeah.
I think I was moved on to like another division.
Yep.
But still in a supporting role.
Yep.
But I was like, oh shit, okay, cool. Well, finally.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's good.
And it took pretty much a year. It was 11 months is when I finally started, and that position I've been in since.
Well, you've been doing good too, man. Like I went with you to meet a couple youth, and vibe instantly, which is always a good sign because these are youth that obviously are harder to connect with typically. And just even me knowing them in the past year and just, I'm like, okay, they get it. He gets it. They like it. So
no, it's good, been.
Man. I'm glad you chose this path because
so am I.
I feel like this field needs more people like you, man.
Yeah, it's
rare. It's rare, man.
That's
to be able to, and it seems it's like something you can't really teach in school.
Nope.
That ability to connect, the ability to relate, the ability to like guide. You can a little bit for sure, but I mean, like there is something that life experiences. That stuff is like too rich, and I think that people are able to sense it, especially young people.
Yeah, and that's why like this has been. I've had a lot of jobs, a lot of stuff in my past. This has easily been the most like fulfilling and rewarding job I think I've ever had.
Yeah. Could be the most frustrating at times too.
Oh yeah, your situations. We've spoken about. We've plenty of situations like, bro, what the hell are we doing? But at the other side of it, it's like when I know I make that connection or help a youth, and they're like, hey, like when they tell you like, hey, you made my day. It's like, man. That I love. Like that stuff feels great. I'm like, this is good. I know like the kid's going through something. Like I'm there to be the positive influence. And like it just I don't dread going to work, which like the job does have its stressors, but like they're just the part of the job. It's like the environment is great. Or like where we work, the people we work with do make the environment good. Like so like mental health is obviously a big thing with people there. So and it's like the youth. Again, they are frustrations. They are teenagers after all. Teenagers suck at communicating in general half the time. So like even getting a hold of them is hard. But when you are with them and hang out, like it's so cool to just kind of be there and like hey, with them chat back and forth with them, see them say, hey, can we do this? Can we do that? And they want to hang out with you. They want to say, hey, when are we going to hang out next? But it's like that has been so like just fulfilling, and I actually enjoy it. Like when I get home, like hey, you know what? I'm good. Like I'm happy.
Great
like
day.
I did good day, right?
Some days doesn't even feel like work.
Right? Like there are days that just fly by. I'm like, oh cool, I'm home now. I'm like it's done right.
Yeah,
And
you're kicking it. You're just playing ball. You're going for a drive, grabbing a bite to eat.
That's it, man. Right?
And then you help them out little by little,
Yep.
and then you start to learn more about their lives and realize that like, oh, we have a lot of similarities, man.
So many of them.
And
right?
I mean, you know the importance of having that regular person in your life. So.
I think that's like the biggest thing when I tell people now is like, because I've been asked, people have been asked like, oh, what do you do for work now? I'm like, yeah, I do this. And like, oh, why do you get into it? I'm like, well, I want to be the positive adult that I wish I had when I was a lot
people say
younger,
that. You know
right?
what I mean? That's like the classic
That's
trope.
what it is, right? So
Yeah.
what I
But it's
have.
true, man.
It is true.
Cliches
Right?
exist for a reason.
Exactly.
And, I feel the same way. There's a lot that I'm like,
I was like, I wish I had a program like this when I was young. Cause I thought
dude, can you imagine?
I was like 12-year-old me when I met
picking me
this.
up,
Bro,
help me out.
Man, I would have been in a much better path than I went down.
I would have saved a lot of suffering.
Oh,
but who's to say that suffering didn't build the character that then led to the life that I live now?
Exactly,
like,
right?
there's all this like, oh, I should have been nice this way, but like, look where all that led me, man.
Exactly.
So it's like, should I have changed or should I just left it?
Right.
But like, could I have avoided some of the shitty parts?
100%. Yeah.
So yeah,
hindsight, but like it still definitely is one of those things. I'm like, yeah, okay, like I enjoy this. This is my line of work. This is obviously like where I'm at now is probably not my end goal. Like,
yeah, but you know what?
Goals, but
cool for now. You got a little kid. You just got this position. It's still new for you. There's a lot.
Nice.
Like there's a lot of learning too that comes within this role. And the best thing about I find the social service sector is that like there are many hats you can wear.
So many, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So you don't have to just do this role. You can use those skills to apply yourself somewhere else, and that kind of keeps things fresh because. I mean, yeah, it does get monotonous over time.
100%.
People move on.
Yeah, exactly.
But for right now, it seems to be working. That's great.
For me, that's why I keep telling myself it's like it's nice now, and like I'm gonna probably stay in this field. I think this is something this is my, to be corny, my calling. I guess.
Good, man.
Like,
just good.
Reach out and like help out as much as I can.
Yeah.
I've always been someone like no matter what, like even when I was going through shit, I was someone who I enjoyed helping. I've always been someone I loved. I feel better helping people. I'm like, even like anyone, if I can help someone in the moment, like, yeah, we haven't spoken in 10 years. Sure, I can help you out.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on what you're asking for, obviously. But like, I'm like, I don't mind helping, right? And so I feel like that's just kind of what this job is just helping and guiding. Support. So I'm like, I will do what I can with the resources, the connections I made, resources I have to like kind of help out however I can with everyone. So like,
and you already have. I mean, even connected with like Youth Rise, that was like a big door.
Yeah. That has been grateful, and like my work with like City of Edmonton, like the city, and like just working with like the Elks, and like I have a connection with them. Talking with people, like some of the youth that go to practice, if they want to go to the practices, so they'll be going there soon, and then like the basketball side of things, I have like friends in like the organization that are here. Like I have friends in like almost all of them. So like, hey, I need a youth that want to go, that they can go. Like it's just been nice to be able to connect and be able to use like my network essentially
100%.
to reach out, and I want to be able to do that with this job, and then when I do move on from this job, use resources I've gotten here to further help people, right? So yeah, I don't know what the end goal is, but I do know like it's in this field. I do know it's somewhere I just want to be able to make sure like when I'm done working, I can be like, hey, I did good. I don't want to like, obviously I'm not trying to work myself to the bone where I like lose out on like the life part of things, but like I also want to make sure like, hey, when I'm done, like I feel proud of myself. Like I know I helped people. And yeah, that's it. Like again, I honestly low-key just kind of want to be like Andrew. It sounds really weird. I'm like he's for both adults now, but I'm like seeing what he's done. I'm like I want to be able to do that.
Aspiring,
to help,
man.
Yeah. So that's
this is only the tip of the iceberg for you, man. And I'm very glad that we met, and I'm glad you were open to sharing your story again. I know sometimes it's not easy and it could be repetitive because, again, I've been through similar situations too, and it can just be like bringing it all up is a whole thing. But I'm glad you did. Again, this is the beginning of something great. You're at the launching sequence. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna stay connected, man. 100%.
For sure. 100%.
I'm glad we made friends.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
And there's collaboration in the future with what you're doing.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have more projects. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Of course, man. Glad to be here, man. I'm glad. Like it's almost not lethargic. It feels good just to kind of get it out. It's like okay, we just kind of talk.
Chats with people.
Yeah, it always feels good.